What's going on, Tamers? Welcome to DigiPod, the digital podcast. I'm your boy Varney, today in the studio with my boys Dan and Mike. What's up?
What's up? How we living? How we feeling?
Dying, that's how I feel.
Dan's sick, Varney's sleepy.
I'm dying.
I'm unhinged as usual. It's fucking, what are we gonna talk about today, boys?
You know, a little bit of
physically,
this.
mentally, everything dying right now.
A little bit of that.
Okay.
I think the first thing we talk about is
El Loco.
El Toco Loco Moco. Let's see, how many people do we have, Dan? I think
12, 11.
Nah, it seems like too much, but definitely a good amount. Like it was more than 8.
We hit double digit.
Okay.
Yeah, we have 4 rounds.
Okay, so at least 10 people, which was nice. We were playing for some very special stuff this past weekend, i.e. Liberator packs, because we finally got the packs in, and our shop was like, how the hell am I supposed to give these out? And I was like, it's literally however you decide. So they gave us some for participation, and then of course winner gets more. So
Gino only got 1.
Oh, is that what it was?
It was 1 for each of the top 4.
Okay. I thought there was more than that. So good to know.
You got the other tournament packs.
I was like, I gotta fucking try to win this thing because I want some Liberator packs. I pulled a Risa, a Teromon, and a Shoto.
Nice, nice.
Clutch pulls for me because those are all cards that I will be using once EX7 drops, which I am mightily excited for. I came in 3rd, I think.
Yeah.
With Magnamon. I only lost to Phoenixmon in round 3, I think it was.
Wow.
The deck is fast, yeah. It excites me to see that deck do well because I feel like that deck is a lot better than people gave it credit for.
It has a lot that it can do nowadays, especially with the Phoenix X combos. Like, it's kind of crazy the amount, like, to me, that deck feels like a little bit like Fish Swarm in the sense of like, if you know how to sequence your stuff and like you know how you do your combos, it's just crazy pop off.
It is definitely a very big like pilot deck because like the way that Gino was running it, I'm looking at it and not only do I not know what half of the deck does, like I know the general concept, but I don't know the combos. Like looking at him run it, you can tell that like he's been playing the shit out of it. And yeah, it was explosive AF. I can see why it placed 2nd at, I believe it was an EU regional. I don't recall what he said his matchups were, but like he basically was pretty fair into all of his matchups. And it makes sense. That's a deck that reads that it should do well into everything, right? I mean, they have the speed somewhat. It's not like, you know, they have free Digivolutions like a certain, you know, yellow deck, but they do have just, well, no, their free evolution is a combo evolution because you have to drop like a Biomon to play
warp into Garuda.
Christie. Yeah, warp into Garuda, you play a Christie and then something like you could bounce a Christie back and like, there's some sort of like dumb combo that happens there, but it's a whole combo. And like watching it happen, it's like super cool. So I can't wait to build birds myself. I've always been excited to build it since I saw Phoenix X come out. So that only like pushes it up. The echelon of Varney wanting to build another red deck for some godforsaken reason.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the only time I've played against in BT16 is on the sim. So I feel like the sim is just not a good experience for gauging.
Absolutely not. I don't think so either currently.
So I think that a lot of I don't even know if Phoenixmon is coded properly on the sim. The few times I've played against it with Imperial, I've just absolutely obliterated it. So I don't even know.
Yeah, it might still. I know there were a couple issues with it on sim, specifically with Phoenix X and possibly even Garuda X. So I'm not sure if those are fixed. I haven't been keeping up because I haven't had time to play. But I know watching that deck kick off in real life, like I feel like if our format was longer, that I honest to God feel like
see more tops.
Phoenix. I also feel like it's a perfect deck to counter Numamon. Like it feels like it should read really well into Numamon because it's so sticky.
We played 4 matches, 4 games. Me and Gino after the tournament. I'll talk about it after.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Because Phoenixmon X, how it works is end of attack, it triggers all of its on deletion, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's probably why, because I would just ace them before their end of attack.
But then they still get their on deletion.
No, they get bottom deck.
Which ace?
Fighter mode ace, bro. What fucking deck?
I'm not talking about fucking Imperial. I'm talking about fucking Numamon.
Oh no, I'm just saying I was talking about my how when I've been playing against Phoenix, I haven't noticed that it's a good deck, but I don't know. You said
sure. Yeah, I mean Imperial is a whole different matchup. I mean, they do so much shit by effect. But Imperial is a whole different matchup. I was talking about Numamon.
But I thought you were just talking about BT16 in general.
No. Imperial is probably a bad matchup for it. But I think
that's blue is a bad matchup for it because Phoenixmon plays like a purple deck.
Yeah. So I'm not even worried about Imperial. I'm mainly talking about Numamon because Numamon runs the format. With that being said,
I'm also surprised against Magnamon too.
Yeah, so it's fast, which is its biggest problem. Like literally, I shit you not, I had 5 security one turn, and the next turn I had 1 security. And I was like, that was like turn 3. Like I'm not saying that we're gonna get to this comment. I'm not saying it's like a fast deck that needs to be hit or anything. Like I actually like seeing a red deck like do things in today's day and age in this economy. But it was very fast. I didn't have time to set up even like Magnamons, and even if I did, like there's so much like pop because I'm within the thresholds of like Phoenix. No, sorry, not Phoenix. Garuda X.
Yeah,
Garuda X pops in 8K or less.
Yeah,
and I can only buff up to 8K on the Magnamons. So I get popped, and then I have a Vmon, which is easily poppable by any other effects. And then of course they have Garuda Ace, which is
Garuda Ace. If you time it correct, you can mess up the Magna X for sure.
So like, and what happened for me, I established a Magna X, lived the turn, next turn came, forgot that Garuda Ace was a card. I swung, he Garuda Aced me. And then unfortunately, it wouldn't have mattered either way, but I had a Protoform under. And so the way Protoform works is when you would be deleted, you have to trigger, like Protoform triggers and you have to resolve it. So Magna X got deleted, but I had to return a card, which was either a Vmon or a Magnamon. I was like, damn, if I return the Vmon, Magnamon doesn't armor purge. Well, it does, but it dies. And if I return the Magnamon, then I have a Vmon swinging at security. So I was like, shit. So I ended up returning the Magnamon because I could have used it later, but like I just couldn't get back tempo because his next turn, he popped the fuck off.
Yeah. And I'm sure if you don't get the protection on Magna X before he swings, he can just, like Dan was saying, Garuda Ace you and blow it up because it's blocker.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. I just couldn't get into Magna X fast enough. So that it was a really fast and also really wide matchup because they don't necessarily have to play stuff like, sure, I Dexmon him. It doesn't matter when you have a Phoenixmon that's just naked sitting on the board. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, it only counts for the 3-cost reduction and for nothing else, you know? So, like I said, it was a really fast matchup. I actually really like the deck. I would really be excited to see how it would do in a longer meta. But that was just the one matchup I lost. I won all my other matchups, which honestly don't really matter. I came 3-1 and that's it. Came in third. So Dan, go ahead.
Yeah, because I wasn't planning to play Numamon for this tournament. I was going to play because I built a Sylphimon, so I wanted to test that out. But once I found out Digimon Liberators was a thing, I was like, ooh, I need to win. So I played Numamon. I also went 3-1. Lost to... So pre-tournament, I was like, I need to re-sleeve my deck and put these new Katana sleeves up because I'm tired of using Dragon Shields. I go into game 1. I verse stupid what's it called? Galaxy, whatever.
Yeah.
Diamond, Apollo, Grace Nova. Yeah, Grace Nova.
I know. I mean, I feel like Galaxy. You could have just went with Galaxy. Yeah. I feel like that's fine.
And I feel like that's I lost to Galaxy because I was just like, great. I keep drawing 3 Monzi X's in my hand, just like I can't do anything. And like I popped off game 1 and won game 1, but like it wasn't like a good game. Like it just so happened that like he didn't see all the pieces, and I was like kind of just like chipping away, and it just so happened I got to it before he was able to do his like pop off. And I could never see a Chumon. Chumon is super clutch in that matchup because it stops all their memory gaining stuff, but I just could never see it. I run like 3 of it in the deck. And whatchamacallit? Yeah, and then like game 2 and 3, I just was not seeing pieces at all. I was sick because like I should not be losing to bum ass Grace Nova. No offense to him or anything. That's just how I feel about that deck in general. Same. Unless you switch up the top end and go like Mirage or like some other stuff. But I just don't. When I see that deck, I'm like, all right, cool. Do all your shenanigans, gain all that memory. Great. What are you doing with it? I don't really care. Especially playing new one. Unfortunately, again, did not see anything. So I immediately de-sleeved my deck, took off the Dragon Shields, put on the Katana sleeves, and then I legit probably won in 20 minutes in game 2, 3, 4. And round 2, like I just saw everything. I was like, oh, this feels great again. Like, so I'm never playing with Dragon Shields ever again. Round 2, I played against Imperial, and I just wiped the floor. I won like 20 minutes or something like that. It was like super fast.
Who put you on those katanas, my boy?
You. I mean, so like backtrack, right? I used to love Ultimate Guards playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Because Ultimate Guard is what Katana sleeves is the under. And I used to remember, Mike, I don't even remember, I bought like a whole like case of sleeves of them, like random colors and everything. It came with like 12 packs or some shit like that in the case or whatever of it. And I used to die, like I would live and die by those sleeves. I was like, I never play anything else, yada yada yada. And then, you know, start playing Digimon. I was like, I don't know what sleeves to buy. I guess I'll just go with the standard Dragon Shields because everybody loves Dragon Shields. And I was never always a fan of them, but I was like, I don't know what else to use fully. And so I finally got to the Katana sleeves. I also been using a different type of sleeve as well. I really like too. They were called Iron Guard supplies. They're pretty solid too. They're very similar to Katana sleeves. And I noticed like my shuffling has been actually a lot better. My starting hands feel a lot better. Everything feels like they're not sticking as much, and really like the way it was feeling. And then, like I said, Imperial 2-0 them quick. Round 3, I played against Rapid X, 2-0 them real quick. He had the nerve to talk shit to me too prior. That was wild.
He really wasn't talking shit. You were just aggravated for no reason.
It was. Let
me tell you what happened. It was funny as fuck.
It was the way he. It was the problem. The problem was the way he said it to me. That's the problem.
It's because Dan has a problem with authority. So what happened was,
I don't.
You know how Oldfield is like, do you want me to come to you? Or you want to come to me? So Dan, you know Dan. Dan's always like, you come to me. So
yeah.
That's what Dan said to him. And then Oldfield was like, you know what? If I'm going to get my ass kicked in this week, you bring your ass here and get a piece of it. I'm not getting my ass kicked and having to move. And I was like, you know what?
That's I kind of respect that.
Right? That's what I'm saying. I'm like, that's a fair ass point. But you know, Dan, nobody talks to Dan like that. So Dan got all hot and bothered. So Dan went over there for the swift 2-0, and then he got up, and Dan don't take shit. So Dan got up. He was like, yeah, that's what you get for talking to me like that, pussy ass mother. No, I'm kidding. He didn't say all that.
I was like, that don't sound like Dan now. I was like, what
the fuck? No, but it was just like the way he said it. It was like mad aggressive for no reason to me. So I'm just like, the fuck you talking to me like that for? You know what I'm saying?
You're literally the only one who took it that aggressive, because I heard that shit and I was me and Gino, we looked at each other, we were fucking
y'all died laughing, bro. But it's because it wasn't directed to you. If it was directed to you, you would have felt some type of way. I guarantee it, Barty.
I don't know. If someone was like, all right, bro, you're gonna come kick my ass, at least come sit at my table, I'd be like, yeah, all right, that's cool.
But it was like,
you were like, how dare you insinuate that I'm gonna kick your ass?
No, you fucking piece of shit. Understand. You know what I mean? It was the way he said it, where like he said it with like mad bass in his voice. I'm just like, bro, like it's not that serious. All right, if you would have said it in a calmer manner, I would have taken it in that way. So when I got up from the table, I was like, yeah, that's what you get for talking crazy.
In Oldfield's defense, he plays against you every single week and he loses, and you always playing some bullshit that wrecks his bullshit ass deck. And he's playing Gamamon.
I played Shakumon one time.
He's playing. You just, what do you strip his source and like bounce or some shit. I don't know what the fuck.
I play Omni Zoo. Like, come on. It hasn't been
Omni Zoo. I'm just gonna drop big bodies that Gamma can't deal with. Listen, to be fair, you play shit that Ophiel can't deal with because he's playing his shitty ass Gamamon deck. So he's like, all right, if I'm gonna get my ass kicked in, I would like to be kicked in at the comfort of where all my shit is.
Oh my god.
I get it.
I'm not gonna lie. My respect for Ophiel kind of went up.
Again,
good for him, bro. I'm with him, bro.
I'm the villain in this arc. That's all right. I'll be the villain for this arc.
Yeah, this is sick. No, I'm a fan of it, bro. This is like Vinland Saga Season 2 ready. This is Ophiel's redemption.
Oh man.
She was redemption arc again, 2-0 Swift. That's what that was.
This is Ophiel saying I have no enemies. I'm a big fan. He's still
sitting here talking shit. Yo, Dan felt slighted AF.
Yeah, I can tell, bro.
Dude, he was like, ain't nobody talk to me that way. Not even my own mother.
Relax.
You ever see Teen Titans go to the movie?
Oh my god.
Bro.
Yes.
Nobody talks to me that way. Mommy?
No.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And I know Dan. Yeah, Dan took us some type of fish. I've known this man for too long. I know he was mad.
Oh my fucking goodness, it was fucking funny.
That's awesome.
He got up, he said his words. I was like, it ain't even that serious, Chief. Just take your 2-0 and walk away.
Because like I couldn't react early on because you know the what you call it, the group chat, and then Gino, and I looked at Gino, I was like, why'd you Gino? And he was like, what's wrong? I didn't say anything. I was like, you know exactly what you did, because you know I would say something that's way more meaner or slicker than what I just said.
Oh, that's funny. That's fucking hilarious.
Anyways,
honestly.
And then I played round 4. Someone who came back to the shop, they were playing Digimon. The first time they played the game in a long time, and that was terrible for them.
Yeah.
Newman, complete annihilation. Plus, she didn't know her own effects. So,
what did you get the pair down? Like,
no, yes, maybe no. I was.
You would have been 2-1.
Yeah, I was 2-1. She was 2-1 also.
No offense, but how?
Maybe not. It's probably a pair down then. Maybe multiple pair downs.
That's crazy.
I don't
know. Honestly, I don't know. But yeah, so I ended up 3-1. Got 4th place, unfortunately. So yeah. Katana sleeves all day. I ain't never going back to Dragon Shoes ever again.
I forget who. I don't want to steal all the credit. Someone in our Discord actually said to try them, because I remember I had tried them in the past. I didn't like them, and someone told me to try them again. I forget who it was, but when I was in Poland, I picked up a pack and I was like, dude, these are fucking sick. I just can't remember. But yeah, so they're awesome though. I definitely recommend them. If you guys are tired of your Dragon Shields or you feel like you're not shuffling right, pick up some katanas. I'm a big fan of them right now.
For sure.
Dan, I'm about to pick up a whole case of katanas now.
Maybe you should try them out
nothing
first.
Else.
And I'm also just big fan of the colors. Like, this is such a clean color, dude. And it makes your foils look so good too. To be honest,
yeah, it was looking pretty clean. I bought like 2 packs of them Wednesday, I think it was.
Damn, honestly, they should sponsor us.
Yeah, facts. Katana, Ultimate Guard. If you hear this, sponsor us, please. It'd be great.
I've never said anything questionable on this podcast.
I'll support all Katana sleeve, all Ultimate Guard stuff forever. If you do that, that'd be great.
Facts.
I love Ultimate Guard's product, period. So like I wouldn't
already ready.
mind that
Dan's
at all.
ready to be
I'm ready.
Fucking corporate shill. Let's do it.
Yeah, 100%. I'm ready. Watch, I got you right now. Hold on.
Oh god.
Right there. My Ultimate Guard deck boxes, you know what I'm saying? Got the sleeves and everything,
Jesus Christ.
I'm ready.
With that in mind, today's episode is sponsored by us,
DigiGuard United.
If you guys you've seen the new hot thing on the market, it's these things we are currently calling Digi trackers, named TBD. They're these cool little things that let you track various effects in the Digimon card game, whether those are DP, keyword counters.
Oh, those.
Yeah, those. I don't know. That's the name I came up with. So it's named TBD for now, but Digi trackers.
Not bad. It's not bad.
You can find them on our shop, which is located at dgu.gg. Currently, at this very moment, they are sold out because demand was super high.
Could you repeat that again? You said that you can find them at our shop?
I think I might have said DGU.gg. Digoo.gg. DGU.
Let me write that down. One more time.
I'm writing
DGU.gg.
5 simple letters.
Perfect. Yeah, so that spells out Dan is a bitch, right?
What?
He was after Ophil bitched him around. He was like, ain't nobody call me a bitch.
2-0 Swift win. I don't want to hear it. That's not a game, bitch.
Anyways, yeah, I had to shut off ordering because like we got so many orders, and I think I've printed half of the orders, mainly because I ran out of fucking filament, and I placed the order, but I don't think the filament gets here until Wednesday. So I'm basically like, I can't print anymore because I literally just don't have the filament to print. So I'm currently like processing orders. Those of you who are listening and you ordered, you might have received a little thank you email, video, note, whatever. So if you did, you already know what's up. If you haven't, and you're listening to this and you ordered and you're wondering where the fuck is my shit, Varney? Well, that's where it is. I'm currently waiting on filament. So if I have enough, like if your order came through like right when we open, like your order is being fulfilled. If it came through later, I'm waiting on filament so I can finish printing them. The ordering is shut off until I can finish printing the orders, and then I will turn ordering back on. So pretty cool stuff there. We did get our playmats in today, so those are super nice. Those are already up on the website, so you can order those, and those can go out as soon as basically place the order, because I got them in just today. They look super nice, might I say. Can't wait to start playing with those playmats. And yeah, today's episode sponsored by DigiGuard United. So let's talk about some Q&A, some poll. Oh wait, no, sorry, I skipped Mike. Did you go to locals?
No locals today. I did get some good games in on Discord with some peeps. I think Friday night I was playing to like fucking 3 or 4 a.m. with like Leppy, Coach, and some other people. So shout out to them. Love those guys.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Locals, Q&A, poll results, and then comments, because we do have some comments to go over. Mainly one. It's mainly just a little bitch session, but we'll get there in just a sec. So I asked y'all, what would be the ideal way to handle store regionals? Chris says, do I know what the ideal way to handle this is? No. Does Bandai? Definitely no. If it is a pricing issue.
Yeah, bro. I feel like that's what I was like trying to get across. I was like, I have no idea if I could do this better, but Bandai definitely doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. So.
Yeah, exactly. He said, if it is a pricing issue, why not make different prices for store regionals or make it scale with the number of people? I look back at tournaments past. The last 2 years, we had store champs, completely different pricing. That is completely a viable alternative. Ulforce Magna says, I guess my question is, how many of the stores are still ran by older mom and pop shops that are trying, but don't have the support for all the Discordish requirements? It could be a lot better though. It's definitely a fair point. I just think about a store like ours, Gamers Edge. They've held big tournaments for Yu-Gi-Oh! Like way back in the past. Pokemon has their like...
they basically have like store regionals there, basically.
Yeah,
we've walked into that store being like at capacity. It was at capacity so much they had to expand into the back where they had this like sort of like I guess members room that didn't get used anymore. So they had to like tear that down, and there's more tables, way more space now. But like when we used to have Digimon, and on the same day as like a Pokemon event, we'd have to wait for Pokemon to finish because there were literally no tables. Mm-hmm. They would have at least 32 people. And that was like at capacity. So now they can easily hold 64. You know, they have a good Pokemon scene. They're like a Pokemon official store. Same thing with Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic. So I just look at a store like ours, and we didn't get one, which makes me question what the requirements were and why they were so stringent. But also I look at 31 One Piece stores, and I know that it's not just an issue with, you know, mom and pop stores or anything of that sort. Because there are, for example, again, alternate universe. Why did they get One Piece and they didn't get Digimon? I know Philly has a big Digimon scene. You have Ying down there. I don't know if he still plays. He probably plays One Piece more, but I know he still dabbles. But I know that there's a lot of people in the Philly area who go to AU for Digimon. Why didn't they get a Digimon fucking store regionals, but they got a One Piece one? That makes no sense whatsoever.
Facts.
Agreed.
Camel says it would be nice if they could somehow arrange locations about 6 to 8 hours apart from each other. That would give some more flexibility for schedules and make attendance for multiple regionals easier. Yes, but that requires Bandai to give two shits. Let's get that straight. It would make like complete sense, but you know, that requires them to sit down and be like, all right, cool. You know, here's the geographical location from Virginia to Pennsylvania. Here's where we'll give a store. But again, Bandai probably didn't even give two shits. So the real question is like, why Bandai? Why? And then for the poll question, I was curious. I asked, would Bandai's organized play scene be an issue if there were other top tier competitive scenes similar to the ARG circuit series? So we only got 5 votes on this. One person said yes, 2 people said no, and 2 people said it's complicated. So general consensus, I'd say it's generally like no. I was curious about it because I think about something like ARG, and I think back to when PPG had started, like way back when the Digimon card game started. I know there was like a lot of controversy about this like circuit series that they had. And then they were supposed to have like this big season ending tournament, so to say. And they never
happened.
Yeah, it never happened. And the question is, why didn't it ever happen? And I don't think anybody like ever officially came out and said anything. The general consensus, right? The general consensus was Bandai was like, yo, shut that down. Because if you remember back at Nats last year or earlier this year, there was supposed to be like a pre-party on the Friday night, which was going to be super cool, which somehow got canceled. No word what happened. Assumedly, Bandai was like, shut it down. So it's both infuriating because it's like, it's like super infuriating because it's like, here's people trying to do better for a community. And then here's Bandai saying, no, cut it out. Then it's like, well, okay, heard. Where's your event, Bandai? And Bandai's like, no, you don't get that, and we're not giving you anything. So it's like, really? What the fuck? So that's why I was curious. I was like, if there was somebody who like made like a whole, basically, if there was an ARG and they came out and they did the same thing as what PPG was doing originally, and they went to, you know, Philadelphia, New York City, down to Atlanta, across to Miami, Houston, Mobile, and then they went to California. Like if they hit all these hot spots throughout the year, and then it culminated in a ARG King of the Circuit Championship at the end of the year, would that have made it less of an issue for Bandai's organized play? Fuck Bandai. Fuck what Bandai thinks here. We're not even thinking about like Bandai saying, stop that. I'm just saying, would people care as much if we had this other scene that was able to give out, you know, whether it's playmat and deck box and like all this sort of pricing, the same kind of pricing that we do. Obviously not cash, because cash pricing is a very finicky subject. But if just something to give back to the community, make it worth a little bit more to play, you know, would that be a thing? They could even do cards. They could be like, yeah, you guys are playing for this, I don't know, first place gets this World's Genkumon or some shit. I don't know. I was curious about that. So it seems like generally the consensus is no. Not surprising, but there also just wasn't a lot of votes. There was only 5 people who voted. There was some people who watched though. I just didn't post this as a question on YouTube, so my fault. I wish I would have, because it would have been cool to get some more like comments on YouTube, but that is that. For our YouTube comments, there's one in particular that it came through while Dan and I were sitting at Locals yesterday. I looked at my phone, I saw it come through, and I was like, oh, this is long. And then I like started reading it, and I was like, Dan, you see this comment that came through? He's like, no, I didn't see it. And then like I started reading it out loud, and I think I got like 2 lines in before I was like, I can't read this bullshit. And I put my phone down and I was like, I'll read this shit later. Dan read it on the spot, and Dan was like, Mike saw it today. Mike saw it today, and I finally read it today. And so let's talk about it, because we're a podcast. We talk about things. We don't shy away from topics, and we're not afraid to be called out when we're wrong. but we also call out bullshit when we feel that it's bullshit. And this is one of those comments that we're going to call out for bullshit because we feel that it's bullshit. Even more bullshit. For those of you who are loyal listeners, it's even more bullshit than that red hybrid comment we got where we overvalued red hybrid. Like that was a bullshit comment. This is like a tier above bullshit. All right, let's get that straight. So comment, and it's on YouTube, so I'll call out the name, by Kukuruyo 5994. Says, wait, so you have a game that has gone to shit because they've gone insanely deep into power creeping to absurd levels. Almost every deck that is minimally able to be played competitively is absolutely brain dead, requiring zero skill to win. They've introduced one of the worst gimmicks ever with the ace mechanic and immediately made it brutally overpowered. It has gimmicks that are absolutely toxic to the game like Magna X, or the dynamic of every deck having to either erase the entire board every turn or be immune to everything that exists. The company has absolutely zero idea or intention of fixing any issues and install bans that make no sense and a lot of other glaring issues, ... And the things that you consider issues are ... That the aces aren't strong enough. When the fuck did we say that? That the United States store championships are not well distributed. They fucking aren't. And if you don't see that as an issue, then I don't know if you give two shits about the game. And the shit ton of cards that should be banned. We didn't say a shit ton of cards should be banned. That's other people. We said we didn't even think there should be a ban list. The one you have an issue with is Edamon because it fucks up your own overpowered decks. Holy moly.
I have like a few things just want to like rattle.
Go ahead, Mike. Like, take the reins.
Go ahead.
So I feel like to start off, he said they've got like the game has gone to shit. I don't think that Digimon has gone to shit at all. I think it's still a fantastic game to play. And I don't know if maybe I was talking too much shit on Bandai, but I think that me talking shit on Bandai does not mean that I think that the Digimon card game is bad. I think the Digimon card game is still fantastic. I think that BT15 format was amazing. I think that BT16 format is still a lot of fun, even though it's been like pretty overpowered with Numemon. And I think that it's okay because it's a shorter format anyways. So I want to preface that. I do not think this game has gone to shit at all. Also saying that Ace cards was a terrible gimmick and they made it absolutely, like they made it brutally overpowered right away is like the most insane take ever. I think Ace cards were really awesome to introduce to this game because it requires an extra layer of thinking. Now those brain dead decks he said that are in the game, you can't be brain dead. You have to look at your opponent's board and be like, oh shit, should I swing right now? Should I remove the board before I attack? What happens if I swing and I get wiped on the turn because of Valkyrieon Ace? There are so many games where I'm playing Imperial and I can make the brain dead play, which is swing twice with Paildramon. And I'm like, oh no, like I gotta be careful I don't swing to a Valk Ace. Let me just go into the fighter mode, remove their level 5 so I don't have to deal with it. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. It just adds extra layer and complexity to the fucking game itself. Second of all, saying that they're brutally overpowered, no. The first Ace cards were not that impactful to the game, in my opinion.
Not that impactful, bro. They were irrelevant.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they were like, I think in Japan it was more impactful because they still had a Melga at full power for a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So Melga Ace was really good.
Like here in America, this shit's on no play, in my opinion. I mean, like I teched it in a few places. I think people were trying to make them work, but they just weren't.
Same.
So the first really good Ace we got was Mega Gargo Ace. And I don't think that card was overpowered at all, but it was the first time.
Backtrack.
You don't think that Mega Gargo Ace was the first like really good Ace we got?
Zudo Ace and Magna Ace?
Yeah.
Zudo Ace
so for level 5. So yeah, level 5, like in general, really good. They were the most powerful aces like
Zudo
we got.
Zudo,
to begin.
No, I'll backtrack. Zudo Ace is better. It's a good card. It's a good card.
No, I'm not saying it's better, but definitely like for being level 6 aces, they were. Mega Gargo was the first good level 6.
I'll give you Zudo Ace. Zudo Ace is really good. I'd say it's like the same level of goodness as Mega Gargo. Actually, it's probably better. It sees more competitive play right now. So I'll give you Zudo Ace for sure. But in my opinion, like for level 6 is the like Mega Gargo Ace, right? Like that's the card I would think of. And like, I mean, like that's like the first card I think that like really made people be like, oh shit, like let me not get my entire board absolutely fucked by swinging right now. And then we have some good aces. Like we have really good. I mean, Fighter Mode Ace is amazing. Valkyrieon Ace is amazing. Bikemon Ace is amazing. But I don't think that any of those cards are really broken or overpowered. I mean, like like there's so many ways to remove an opponent's board right now. Like as long as you aren't stupid, then like I don't think you can really, except for the Edamon play, there's nothing you can do about that. I mean, you get slammed with an Edamon, you're gonna have to attack, you know? But like besides that, like as long as you can actually read the field and figure out what your opponent might be playing, like I don't think it's any different than any other game. Like Magic, you can get counterspelled, you can get instant, like killed with an instant. There's so many ways to respond to an opponent's turn during Magic. Yu-Gi-Oh, you have a million hand traps at this point. I can't talk to Pokemon.
Yeah,
so I don't know about Pokemon, honestly. But like, I don't think that aces are a bad mechanic whatsoever. Also, just like, I don't know. I don't. There's so much in that comment that the United States Store Championships are not well distributed. Like, yeah, that's an issue for the game. What are you talking about? Like, that is a huge issue for the game. Like, of course we're going to talk about that. Especially, like, I don't understand. He made this entire comment and post like we didn't touch on like, oh yeah, like these decks are really overpowered right now, but the format is short and I think it's still a good form. Like, I don't think any of us were like, oh my god, this format is awful, it's unbearable. So I don't think any of us hold that opinion.
We literally said we love the Digimon card game, but multiple times. Dan, you want to go next before I hit respond?
I don't think I got much to add to that. It was just sounds like one of those type of people who are, it's crazy to say, it's only because the game's only been around for 4 years, but like a digi-boomer. Like they just want the game to be stagnant. Where
Nightmare, it was Nightmare, I'm calling you out.
BT1 to like BT5 range or something like that. Or they say the best format was what, BTA, I think it was. They said, or 7, whatever it was.
Not even, because everybody hated hybrids.
Oh,
no, because they all hated
hybrids. No, but a lot of people think that was the most skillful format though, still regardless. Because then BT9 comes around and then, you know, X anybody and, you know, one stack, chilling, you know, blah, 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 blah. Right? So people always say like that's one of the most skillful formats, blah, blah. And it's like, bro, like the game has to evolve one way or the other. And I don't even think the power creep is like that bad where you need to be like, we need to ban everything. There's some cards that definitely need to be touched or need to be considered whenever they do decide to do the ban list. And yes, Edamon is an issue and it can be more problematic with more future ace cards. So yes, that's why I mentioned me personally, because I was the first one that mentioned, hey, Edamon needs to be potentially banned or at least, you know, what's called
limited.
Yeah. Or
choice restriction. That's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Choice restriction. That's the word I was looking for. Like, yes, that needs to be considered moving forward when more aces, more yellow, more black colored aces that are level 6s come out, and they will be eventually maybe stronger than Volk and Vike and, you know, Mega Gargor. That's just the way the nature of games are nowadays. So like it's kind of crazy to just like, I don't know, to just graze over everything we said and specifically target small parts that you did not really catch the full thing of what we were trying to express. That's what's crazy to me.
Bro, I have like even more like I hate the one you have an issue with is Edamon because it fucks up your own overpowered decks. Like,
yeah, how does
first of all,
maybe after my opponent's overpowered decks, that's the whole point, right? Like,
bro, first of all, like Dan plays Digimon. Second of all,
yeah,
the Edamon also fucks up the other Numamon deck in the same era, bro. Like, yeah. What if I neg DP the entire board with like against the, like I don't know, like that's just.
Yeah, I'm not really. I don't understand where his complaints was on the Edamon fully, but like I understand there's other problematic cards, you know, Uko and whatnot.
Which we've spoken about all of those cards,
right? We talked about it. We talked about all like the problematic cards.
All the hate was on Edamon, but you know,
exactly.
Bro, I even literally, I mean, they won't hear this yet because that pod's not out yet. But I even literally was like, in the last pod, I was like, I love Imperial so much, but like maybe they have to hit Davis and Kent eventually. Like, yeah. And I'm as biased as you can fucking be about Imperial, bro. It's like, I don't know. That shit just blows my mind. Right. And also because it fucks up your own overpowered decks. First of all, if Numamon didn't just get 9 tops out of a top 16, right? Like, what do you mean your own overpowered decks? Numamon is the overpowered deck right now. Like what the, it's not like the Edamon play is some weird rogue combo in this rogue deck that we're talking about needs to be hit. It is a very powerful, potent combo piece.
Like it's best deck in the format.
I don't know. That shit has me fucked up right now.
It's just I just remember there was another comment that mentioned that this format is more like Dragon Rulers and Spellbook. I just want to talk about that real quick. It is not like that because you don't see half splits of Magna and like, you know, a lot of tops of Magna and a lot of tops of Numamon. It's just straight Numamon. So there's a difference. That's why I say it's close to tier 0 for a Numamon being, you know, B-diff, obviously, than there is to being a format where there's 2 main decks. Obviously, Magna is holding other decks back, but like it's not like it's topping as much as we thought it could have been.
All right,
go ahead.
So let's dive into this. Let's do the Barney take. So you have a game that's gone to shit. We never said it's gone to shit, and if you believe it's gone to shit, then yeah, you're a Digiboomer and you should probably play a different card game because Digimon card game isn't for you anymore, Chief. Because they've gone insanely deep into power creeping to absurd levels. I've seen absurd levels of power creep in a Bandai card game, and that's called One Piece. Okay.
Yeah.
That's called One Piece, and that's called the Dragon Ball Super card game. Digimon has had power creep, but our power creep has been relatively well addressed, and the card game has excelled at a rate that is consistent for a 4-year-old card game. I'm curious. I'm probably going to ask this as a poll question, so I'll write it down. But what is power creep? Like, what do you guys define power creep as? Is it getting new effects that do different things? Like, do you just want to see everything be like a vanilla 2K or a vanilla 2-drop 5,000 DP Digimon and have like a 3-cost to Digivolve level 6 that just has like blocker on main body? Or when this Digimon attacks on suspend, like is that the kind of effects that you want to see? Would you like to see new mechanics? Would you like to see new effects? Like, look at Sendril and Zafagamon. Like, I don't disagree. The shitty part is that like he makes some decent points, but like then you like proceed to like blow up your own fucking argument. I think there are some decks that are like they can definitely be overpowered for sure. Numamon, Magna X can be oppressive, but like I've been playing that deck, and Magna X in its own deck is perfectly fine and is exactly the boss monster that it should have been. Yellow Vaccine abusing the shit out of Magna X, however, is a completely separate issue. Cards like Blinding Ray and other cards that like force you to take your own security for whatever reason do make Magna X a design issue. That's not a problem so much like with the idea of a protection effect. Mike and I have spoken about this. There is a way that you can make that card completely fair, and that is by, in my opinion, that card should have been worded when a Digimon attacks and removes a security. That way, its intended purpose is to make it a wall against security for blocking purposes. So a Digimon has to attack, remove a security, whether that's himself or an opposing Digimon or one of your ally Digimon, then you can get that effect. But you're not able to trigger it off of the Blinding Ray, off the TK, off the Anjuomon, off the Nyaromon. It's a very easy fix. And although somebody at Bandai might have thought of it, they said, how can we make this card busted so we can sell this set? All right, let's be realistic. Power creep sells. Am I right or am I wrong, boys?
No, yeah. They have to. I mean, so it's such a weird. I always hated. So for a while, I used to hold this. It was kind of a bad take, maybe. Because I came from Magic. Before I played anything else, before I played Yu-Gi-Oh, before I played any of the other 15,000 card games I've tried in my life, it was Magic. So I was really used to either you played an internal format, one that never got sunset, or you played a rotating format like State. And I always thought that it was really great that Magic had all these different rotating formats and different eternal formats. Like you could always find niche ways to play decks or whatever. And I thought that the rotating formats were great because it made so you could rotate out really powerful cards and rotate through power creep. And I was like, this is a really good game because of that. Magic has gotten to the point now where it's actually so fucking awful with power creep. I mean, it's actually like I used to think that there was power creep, obviously, but Magic was weird because the first set they ever printed is basically the strongest set in the entire game ever. You know, like that first set they printed was the best. But when you come to the new standard rotations and Modern now is so bad. Just there's so many bad things that happen in Magic. And I used to be under this like thing that was like, oh, like card games that don't have rotating formats like Yu-Gi-Oh are so bad because they have to make these really powerful decks to keep selling cards instead of rotating out old cards and putting that was a bad take because honestly, Magic ended up doing the same fucking shit. So what was the point of thinking that way, right? But in my opinion, like, I don't know, like, if they don't keep releasing stronger cards, then they're going to have to start hitting all of the old decks. That's how you have to look at it. Because they need more product to sell. And that's unfortunately just how it works. So either they hit all of your old favorite decks to force you to buy new product, or they make cards slightly stronger each set. So, and if you're lucky, they keep making cards slightly stronger, and then they come back to your favorite deck, and they make that meta relevant again.
It really just feels like the cycle of life of card games, you know?
Yeah, and I think the big issue is when sometimes they make a card instead of making it this much more powerful, you hit a wall where they make it this much more powerful and this much more powerful, and that's what the issue is, right? So I like to look at sets differently. Like, so for me, it was BT5 was like, I think the first set where like the game kind of changed, and then BT9. We've talked about this in the past, like BT5, BT9, and then honestly, like you could say that like BT15 era. There's some era I have to decide on, but maybe it's BT15 where a Pokemon is the first secret that gets hit, right? Like you think about it like that. Like that's a big change moment, whatever, momentum shifter for Bandai is hitting a fucking secret rare, the chase card of the set, right? Like, I don't like that's power creep though. Like you have to hit a fucking Pokemon. The game has reached this weird point, right? Like that was a power crept, broken card. And I don't necessarily think that Numamon is this crazy power creep deck. It's just a deck that's been getting support for a couple sets in a row now. Like, and then you combine that with aces that have come on play, like online, and then you combine that with like these tech cards that people have figured out. Like to me, Numamon is a perfect example of not power creep, but culmination of supports for decks. We saw that with Greymon decks, in my opinion. Greymon had so many sets of consistent support that it was like only a matter of time until we reached a point where it was going to become BDEV, right? And we hit that in BT11 with Greymon X, right? Like we hit that point where it was like, okay, like this is Greymon's time to shine, you know? There was so many consistent sets of support. But then, like, so like, I don't think that that's really power creep for me. Power creep is Melga. Melga gets how many decks? Like Melga got like literally one run of support and it became the best deck in the format.
Yep.
That's busted. Like a Pokemon gets literally one box of support.
An entire set,
yeah. I mean, well, not really, because you had all the Garurumons and everything that got hit. But like all those cards got hit and Bandai still had to hit a Pokemon, right? So like a Pokemon is literally like Bandai being like, this is a fucked up, like this is power creep, right? Like, I don't know. That's just like my take, I guess. Like sometimes I feel like Numamon is strong, don't get me wrong, but again, I don't know if that's like, that's culmination of sets and sets and sets. Like Magnet X, I guess you could call that like a power creep deck where like that really has gotten 2 sets of support where it's, if you're talking about blue vaccine, by the way, not yellow vaccine. Or not blue vaccine, blue armor. You're talking about vaccine. Blue armor, that's like 2 blue sets free. Of support. Like you get like, you know, whatever. But I don't even think that Magna X is really that insane. It's the other cards that go with it that make it so crazy. So, right. You know, like that's just an entirely different discussion.
So I'm pretty sure, real quick, because I was just doing some quick little research. I'm sure somebody will fact check me, right? Almost by year 4 of Yu-Gi-Oh! And TCG, they dropped cards like Cyber Dragon, which was instant power creep for the game, where you could just drop a 5-cost free special summon 2100 attack beast stick. No problem. That was revolutionary. Plus, in that same era, you had the Cyber End Dragon Power Bond instant OTK, where you go second, you go Power Bond or Future Fusion, and then you just OTK the F out of people. So I'm pretty sure like even like Yu-Gi-Oh had like that crazy power creep spikes in like by year 4 as well. So why is it so bad for Digimon to have that? And I'm just going by year 4. Before even year 4 of Yu-Gi-Oh, or year 3, whatever it was for TCG wise, we had Black Luster Soldier Envoy of the Chaos, which was a broken ass card. And same thing with like the dragon one. I forget what it's called right now.
Arm Dragon. Oh no, you're talking about Envoy.
No, Dark Arm Dragon, Envoy of the End, baby.
Dad came out like year 5 or 6, I think it was, or something 7, or something like that. But like Black Luster Soldier was already within like 4-year span of Yu-Gi-Oh being out, was already a busted ass card. Same thing with Chaos. The dragon card. I always forget the name of it. Combo with the Yatagarasu, like that was such a power creep ass move that you're able to do. Like there was nothing you could do about that. You know what I'm saying? So like, why was it so okay for like Yu-Gi-Oh to have these and people ban? And obviously Konami banned those cards and decks forever almost. It felt like, but like Digimon has power creep. Or some type of power creep. I don't think the power creep is that bad. Magna X is kind of a gatekeeper-ish for like decks that aren't that good, but like those decks were never going to be that good, period, sometimes. So like, what does it even matter? But like, why is it so bad for Digimon to have that? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that bad. You need progression in card games.
You know, I don't want to cut you off, but you know, I also hate the thought of like a gatekeeper deck being a bad thing. Like, why is it bad if decks that are not meta or off meta or rogue not being able to win tournaments? Now I get that. I also get the argument that I'm not trying to be like, you know, close my eyes and be blind to the fact that UNBAN is a fucking murdering tournaments and everything right now, and that the decks that have good matchups against UNBAN are falling to Magna. But I also think that there are other really good decks in the format still. So, and yeah, I mean, it shows Magna has not won a tournament yet. I just want to say that.
For sure.
You know what's won a tournament? Imperial Digimon has won a tournament. Bro.
Yeah, before Magna has, which is crazy to think.
Like, I don't know. And Magna's a good deck. Honestly, that deck can be very frustrating to play against when you get just fucking walled comboed. Like, and it's more frustrating when you're like, I have the out, I have the play. As long as they don't activate some bullshit option card on their turn. And they do. And you're like, this is fucking annoying. Now I have to wait and see. And it's annoying because if they don't have like cards to give like extra checks, you literally have to wait that deck out. Like, I hate, oh my, it's so annoying. You're like, as long as they can't reactivate this ability next turn, I could probably win. And I hate that you're just waiting to see if they can.
Yeah, for sure.
So, power creep. We've literally spoken about power creep at least like 3 times in the past, like as a topic. We've had at least 2 podcasts that we've talked about solely power creep. So it's a good thing you mentioned Yu-Gi-Oh! I can't talk about any other card games because I've never played like a card game like from the beginning. But like, we're in year 4. It's really not that bad. I feel like in terms of power creep, like, the game, sure, like Numamon isn't even power creep necessarily. It's really, like Mike said, the culmination of just like multiple sets of support. You know, you're playing Garamons from BT11 and you're playing the new Numa X, but then you're also now making use of an Edamon from EX5, and then here's Valk Ace from BT16. Like, it's just good stuff, that deck. And there's nothing wrong with that, but we do, you know, we need to keep decks in check. But to continue on with this comment, like almost every deck minimally able to be played competitively is brain dead, requiring 0 skill to win. I heavily disagree with that. I think like there's a degree of luck in the card game, but there's a degree of luck in every card game. And if you want a game that is like completely like skill to win, I don't know, again, go play something else. Maybe Digimon isn't for you. I think this game is definitely very skill intensive. Some decks can be brain dead, like Mirage can be brain dead at times because it's pretty much just OTK. But there's also a fair amount of decks. I mean, even Numamon, like the Numamon Mirror, Numamon can definitely be very, you know, air quote brain dead. But I also disagree. I feel like Numamon can be a very high skill ceiling deck, and everybody's playing Numamon. But how many people are actually winning with Numamon? The good players are.
Yeah. I wish I had the statistics on what each of these topping Numemon decks actually played through their rounds. Do you have that?
Okay. No.
Because I would love to know how many Magnas they've actually faced during these rounds, and how many of the decks that people say can beat Numemon they've been playing against and winning. Because I very obviously they are not playing Magna every single round.
Correct.
Yeah.
So these decks that people are saying like are being gatekept by Magna, I don't necessarily know if I believe.
Fair point.
I would like to see the statistics before I make some brain-headed dumb comment saying something like that. But like, they're not playing Magna every round. That's very relevant by how many tops Magna has. So
that's a good point.
What other decks are they playing? I mean, and also I think in Digimon specifically, really in any card game, the mirror is one of the hardest matchups in any card game. I don't know how the Numemon mirror is because I don't play Numemon, but just speaking like in terms of
toxic,
it's toxic. Yeah.
Who can dismantle each other's board?
Yeah. I just feel like
who gets more who gets more advantage off of dismantling the opponent's board.
Mm-hmm.
So previously, like in BT15 format, pre like the Volk and the second Uko and all that stuff, it was legit basically who sees a Monzimon kills the other Numemon first. And whoever does that is usually like instant clear winner. Not clear winner, but it's like clear ahead of advantage. Because let's say if they go first, they drop that Garrymon. Or you gave me 3. All right, bet I'll drop my own Garrymon, get draw, go Monzimon, put you back a whole turn because you don't got anything else. And now I'm set up for my turn, that following play. If you don't deal with that Monzimon somehow, then I could go like Monzi X, pop off, go crazy, get probably like 3-4 checks instantly. Now that doesn't even matter as much because of the Edamon Vault combo. If you're able to see that combo, and even if they do that, like play, like that interaction I just spoke about.
Yeah.
It depends on how fast can you interact with that Vault, because the Vault will start swinging 2 checks, 3 checks at times.
Hey, Mike, remember when Dan and I had that skiff last week because I said that promo Ukamon should be hit instead of the BT16 because it's bullshit that you give them 3 memory and then they just pop into a level 5 and then they can ace you in the next turn and shit like that.
Yeah, I think that's coming to mind. Yeah.
Okay, what about it?
I just wanted to mention that.
Okay.
They've introduced one of the worst gimmicks ever with the ace, and immediately made it brutally overpowered. Also, big.
Absolutely wrong.
I mean, man, I think aces, people who. Dan said earlier, like the people who have problems like with some of this stuff, like you're really just a digi boomer and like you just don't want to see the game like progress. You just want to keep playing like good old BT5 era. And to that, I say again, go play a different card game because it's not busted. The only thing that makes it busted is if we got an ace card that was like when this Digimon is suspended or like whatever dumb shit, this Digimon gets protection. The entire idea behind ace cards is that it gives you, the player who uses the ace card, an advantage when you wouldn't normally have one. And as the opposing player, it gives them an advantage if you can remove this ace card. Cool. You're going to be refunded memory for doing so. Like, we don't have anything right now at this very moment that makes those interactions like unviable, which is a good thing. If we ever get to that point, that's an issue. We don't have that. They're very balanced. I don't care what you guys say. Like their ace cards are balanced. As a matter of fact, it's a shame. I probably should have put out that Dan and I asked Dan 2 podcasts ago. I said, "Are ace cards good for the game?" We talked about it. It was like a nice little like 5-minute clip. I should have put out that clip like 2 days ago because ace cards. It has gimmicks that are absolutely toxic to the game, like Magna X discussed that, or the dynamic of every deck having to either erase the entire board every turn or be immune to everything that exists. So that I can get on board with. That I can understand. I don't think every boss monster, every deck should be capable of just like popping, removing, etc. But at the same time, it kind of just feels like decks need to be able to respond to other decks. And sometimes a deck needs a built-in way of being able to interact with other decks. So yes, but also no. Like, I don't disagree with you. I think that's actually a pretty decent point to make. I think about the stuff like Sendromon and Zafagamon. Like Sendril, I can't remember exactly what she does. I know she plays a token I think if a token is deleted, she gets like a -7 or something. Zafagamon's a board control deck, but like that's fair. I mean, it's a green deck. That's what the deck is like. That's what it's doing. Like it suspends your opponent's stuff. Like it's the color's identity, you know? Like to a certain extent, it feels like the game is meant to go this way where like every deck like removes. Green suspends. Black is meant to be a wall. Yellow DP reduces. Red just says, haha, fuck you to everything on board and your security. Purple, I feel like purple's like the most like, this is supposed to be the most versatile color, so to say. And what color am I missing? Blue. Blue just bounces everything away. So like it's annoying, but like it's also like color identities. So in a way it's fitting, but in a way it's also like there's a balance that needs to be hit. And you know, for example, I think this is actually a really good point. Magna X doesn't do anything in terms of removal. All it does is it comes on board and it says, yeah, I have immunity. like you said, like it has, Kukuruyo, it has immunity, but it also doesn't remove anything. What if that deck wasn't allowed to play Heaven's Judgment? What if you didn't have a card that says, play me while Magna X is on board and board wipe your opponent? What if they had to bust their ass to remove opposing threats, which is what happened to me against Phoenixmon. Not only could I not get a Magna X on field, but I also couldn't get the Heavens in hand at the right time. Because when I had that Magna X, if I had Heaven's Judgment, I would have just played that instead. Because I would have been able to deal with multiple bodies. So it's like, is this balance? I agree, like that's definitely an issue, but it's also something where it's like, this is the direction that the game is heading, and it's the direction that every game heads. I mean, doesn't every Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh deck, or almost every Yu-Gi-Oh deck, don't they interact with the opponent in some sort of way outside of hand traps? They're supposed to like establish board presence and then deal with like your opponent's board in some sort of way.
Yeah. In my opinion, in Yu-Gi-Oh, I think it's not even my opinion. I think it's just a fact. If your deck can't interact with your opponent on their turn, then you're not winning the game. Unless
in today's game, especially
unless you're playing like some crazy OTK deck where you have to do all the interactions on your turn to win the game, like that's the only excuse. But yeah, you have to be able to interact with your opponent on your turn. Also, and I want to say too, like,
but even back then too, like that's what traps were so much more important back in the day.
Oh my god! Yeah.
So like they were so important. Quick play spells as well to like interact on your opponent's turn as well. So that's always been a thing. And like we always had a hand trap in Karibo. I mean, it wasn't like the most meta relevant, but like it was there. They had the idea of hand traps, you know, being able to like stop an attack and stop taking damage or something. Yeah. Honest was early. Gorse was pretty early on. I mean, I think 08, 09.
Yu-Gi-Oh may not be like the best example of like, well, here's what we should model our game after. But at the same time, Yu-Gi-Oh's been running for how long now?
20 plus years.
This is actually
20 plus
so believe
years?
it or not, this is actually the first year where Yu-Gi-Oh has actually seen like a significant downtick in like players and stuff and product being bought. I think a lot of players have actually started playing other games now. Or
Master Duel probably helped with that too.
Master Duel, yeah, it's true. I don't know. Master Duel probably helped a lot with Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah,
I actually, because people are probably buying less physical product. I don't think the numbers from Master Duel put into any of the top card game
reports,
bullshits. Yeah, but they could also be people playing older formats now that are better. So,
yeah, I know a lot of people play Edison now because they're just fed up of the newer formats.
Edison, Go format, great. Both of them.
Fucking people are playing Dragon Ruler format, which is insane to me.
So
but, I wanted to say though, I hope you all know, like, just like if we're saying like Digiboom or whatever, we're not saying the card game is perfect. There are things that need to change in this card game for sure, but to act like this card game is dying or that it's a shit card game or that I don't know, that like every deck needs to be hit, that like this, that like the card game is fine and it's fun, and if you're not having fun, just don't play. I took a format or two break. I didn't play for like, what was it? Probably
a whole like year or something like that, right?
No, it was not a whole year. Calm down, bro. I think
it was. I
think it was BT 14 and EX5, I didn't play at all. Really, I played like here and there, like very randomly, you know. But like, it's not like the whole when I wasn't playing, I was like, this game fucking sucks. Fuck this game. Blah 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 blah. No, there's just nothing out at the time that I was interested in playing it. And I knew that eventually there were going to be cards that I was interested in playing it again. So I took a little breather, took a little break, took a step back. Like, I don't know. And again, this game's not perfect, but to act like this is like the worst card game ever and that there's problems everywhere, like we are not even in like a full tier 0 format yet. Like we are like teetering, but we are not there. Like, and I think
it could have been worse. We could have been sitting here saying, yeah, this game is fucked right now because UNBAN is dominating.
Yeah.
Which I know a lot of people feel that way, but we're not there yet.
No, and we're literally like, Friday is a new format. We get new cards on Friday.
I've seen people say that like they don't think it's going to change much going to EX6, and I'm not here to like refute that point. It could very well be true, but at the same time, like those cards are good. And I mean, card games change all the time. Players find new things that other regions might not have. You know, sure, the format didn't change too much going from BT16 to EX6 in Japan, and it might stay true for us, but there's also a possibility that it doesn't. There's a possibility that like Angels comes out and it's like, haha, here's this deck that is like resilient, can be removed. I can deal with UNBAN, you know, like it's possible. I could see that happening. I'm not saying that it will, but it's a whole set. And then we go into 17, and then there's a new king. But that's a topic for another day. Kukuruyo, I also agree with you. Bandai has zero idea what they're doing. And when it comes to ban lists,
sure feels like it.
I don't know. But to because it's so aggravating reading your comment, to be honest. Like, what you're saying is that like, oh, we shouldn't complain about things that are problems because there are other bigger problems. When the things that you said that are problems really aren't problems. They're really not that big problems. The aces are not strong enough. In no way did we ever insinuate that the aces are not strong enough. And if anything, we said that aces can be really busted because of Edamon.
Yeah, and I'm almost wondering, I can't remember if on that pod we talked about how they get stronger because of cards like the movie option card for Imperial where it lets you warp into the ace. And I don't know if he thought
we said that they get stronger.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if that's what he was thinking, because I know we did talk about how there's like even more, like there will be even more interactions soon.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's taking us saying that.
They'll be harder to deal with, but I'm not even saying that. We didn't even really necessarily say that was a good thing. Because we talked about Imperial and Imperial getting access to movie option, going into Paladin mode ace off of that movie option is like no, that we never said that they weren't strong enough. They're really fucking good and they're about to become even better, which is, you know, not saying it's an issue yet, but it's something we have to watch out for, just like the Edamon combo. That the United States Store Championships are not well distributed. I'm sorry, do you like playing the game, Kukuruyo? Because if you do like playing the game, I sure hope you live in an area where you can go to one of these store championships and get accepted for it. Because if you live in the area and you don't get accepted for it, you're fucked. If you don't live in the area and you don't get accepted for it, well, you're fucked because you didn't get one. If you live in the area and you get accepted for it, good for you. You hit 1 out of the 3 points that I made. Like, come on, bro. Like, that is an issue. People want to play the game, and people should be allowed to play the game when they want to play the game if Bandai isn't going to allow people to do other things. If Bandai's not going to let stores host store regionals, if Bandai's not going to let TOs host more regionals, if Bandai's going to fucking cannibalize their own TOs to host more tournaments for their own fucking card games, i.e. Battle Spirits, One Piece, Digimon, Dragon Ball Super, Masters, Dragon Ball fucking Fusion World, and fucking Union Arena coming out, which I don't think Union Arena is supposed to have an organized play scene, which is cool. I'm actually glad about that. Hopefully they leave it as a little bit more of a casual game with the occasional event here and there, because God forbid they have to fucking account for Union Arena, a 5th card game, for their sole amount of TOs. You know, miss me with that point, bro. And of the shit ton of cards that should be banned, The one you have an issue with is Edamon because it fucks up your own overpowered decks. It fucks up many decks, bro. And if there's one thing that like I've seen across all the comments on the videos that we put out in the last like week or two, we're not the only ones who think that. Other people are like, no, Edamon does need to be restricted because that shit is toxic. We said it needs to be looked at. Erring on the side of it could really lead to some unhealthy interactions in the card game that were unintended for. It's a legitimate fucking issue, bro. And I'm sorry if you don't think that's like, I don't know, whatever you're thinking out there. Just wanted to address your comment because why not?
It was crazy.
It was definitely crazy. Made it, as you could tell, definitely made us feel a type of way. But we appreciate you commenting. And for anybody who's watching, don't be afraid to comment. Keep watching. You know, we take stuff like this in stride. You know, we read literally every comment that comes through. Every single one of us looks at. Yeah, somebody sends it to the if there's something that's like, hey, like maybe this is something that you guys should take note of, or maybe this is something you guys should think about, or this is something that you guys were wrong about. We read those and we send it to each other and we talk about that shit. All right, like it's not just like, oh, these guys are trying to jump down this guy's throat for having an opinion. No, we're talking about it. We felt it was wrong, but we also talk about all of the comments that come through, and especially the ones that like correct us on whatever it is. So just wanted to say that. Anyways, little rant about that coming over. I know that was like a good old half-hour segment. So
yeah, but I think it also let us talk about a lot of different things. And also I hope that like, for sure, that person who listens to this next pod, like I promise we aren't talking shit about you. We greatly appreciate like,
I was talking shit about you. I'm kidding.
Oh, okay. Varney was. I was. We greatly appreciate like the interaction and everything like that.
Mike, you wanted to talk about comment. You wanted to talk about this comment last time by Mushroom Ring. You said, I think they should, or he said, I think they should have just brought store championships back with invites instead of half-assed the store regional system. I'm part of two communities, a couple hours apart from each other, and store championships were what got the communities to actually intermingle with each other. Even smaller communities near us would randomly show up because there was a nationals invite on the line, and or people just wanted to prove whose scene was better. They gave everyone a reason to care about the game. When store championships came back last year without invites, no one cared. It just felt hollow. Alternatively, when they opened up nationals to everyone last year, no one wanted to go because it wasn't special like it had been before. That and California is an expensive trip. Which on that note, Bandai Card Game Fest in, what is it, Orlando and Houston? Or no, is it Dallas?
Something.
Somewhere in Texas. Can't remember which one. But it's a Texas city, either Houston or Dallas, and it is Orlando, Florida, which is super cool to see.
Like, I think, so what is it? And one is NAS and the other is DigiFest? Is that what it is?
That I have no fucking clue.
I heard some rumors that they might be splitting Nats this year or something, or have two. I don't know.
So that's the rumor.
I'm not sure.
But they didn't confirm anything about organized play for Card Game Fest. All we know is that there are two locations in America for Card Game Fest, and that in part is due to One Piece, because last year, after last year's fiasco, they did say One Piece was going to have two nationals this year. That's on the roadmap for One Piece, that they actually have two separate nationals, so players have two chances to qualify for Worlds on One Piece. Sorry, just Atlantis, I know you hate every time I talk about One Piece. You know, sorry, we play a Bandai card.
We're a One Piece card game podcast now.
So that's that, but they didn't say anything about what's happening for Digimon. So we don't know if Digimon's getting two nationals. We don't know if one is going to be a nationals, one's a fucking fest, but all we know is that inevitably there's two fests, right? So that means they're going to be playing Digimon in some capacity. Does that mean two nationals? Or is that a national in a Digifest or whatever? You know, we don't know, but Mike, go ahead. Store championships, yada yada.
I think that that's like actually such a good take, because store in my head, store regionals are supposed to be the evolution of store championships. They're supposed to be bigger with actual support from Bandai, right? Like it was like, that's what I thought in my head. I was like, that's perfect. They're just gonna build on the store championship idea, because I loved the store championship idea. I thought it was so cool that, you know, when store championships are popping and you needed that for an invite, like I was someone who wasn't playing in a lot of regionals. I've only ever played in like 1 or 2 maybe. Like, and that's not because I don't like playing competitively. It's mostly because I'm lazy and I don't want to click the link when they're available. Like, but like, I was like, I get to go to my locals and play with 30 people for an invite. Like, yeah, I'm gonna smack the fuck out of these kids. Like, I can do this in my head. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just like I'm sure like anyone signing up for a regional thinking they can get a regional invite, they're like, I can beat 8 other people for a regional invite, right? So in my head, I was like, okay, like store regionals, like 64 people cap, like that's fucking sick. Like, get a couple more rounds. It's just a bigger locals. Like, I get to play it at my own store, like not far from where I live. Like, I don't have to stress about signing up at a certain time and all this shit. I was like, I can just go to my locals and do this. That is not what happened. Obviously. Like, very obviously. And that's crazy to me. And I loved the idea that, like, I remember when store regionals first happened, or store locals, oh my God, Jesus Christ. Store championships first happened. And I remember the first one I went to, there's like fucking 40 people there. I had never met most of the people. I was like, and they were obviously like trying to farm invites or whatever. Not farm, but like try and get invites, right? So people were traveling. And I was like, whoa, I've never met these people before. But it also made me feel like I gotta defend my fucking locals, bro.
Right, exactly.
Like, I gotta make sure that none of these fuckers get our invites. So like, I don't know, I thought that was really cool. And I also thought that it brought a sense of like, maybe in some of the smaller communities where people like didn't have as big tournaments as we were getting for our store championships, it might have been easy to like get a store championship and just go to, you know, nationals, which is what people were complaining about. Like, they were like, it's a good thing that they took away invites for Nats from store championships. But it ended up not mattering because then anyone could go to Nats anyways. So
yeah,
like that entire argument of being like, oh, it shouldn't, like, you shouldn't be able to get a invite to Nats off of winning your shitty locals that no one plays with meta decks with blah 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 blah, right? That was an argument I heard. I think that argument was fucking stupid, in my opinion. To be fair, I just want to mention this real quick. I remember I missed out on last year. Yeah, it was last year's Nats. Was it 2 years ago? You went, well, no, it was last year. Technically, you went to this. Well, are we calling this year's Nats the one that didn't happen yet? Or are we calling last year's the one before? No, I mean 2023, like January 2023. Yeah, that's the one. Okay. I missed out on that regionals because of store championships. Nationals. I didn't win. Nationals. I missed out on that nationals because I didn't get my invite. I remember being out that weekend with my girls and my wife. And I was like keeping up on all the shit because I was like, damn, I didn't get to go, but you know what, I'm keeping up on all this stuff. So I was like looking at my phone and I saw somebody on Reddit post. They were like, they basically made a comment about like nationals is too sweaty and that they hated like that they were there because like everybody was like trying hard to win. And it wasn't like that at their locals, and like it's just whatever that was. And I was like, what did you expect? Like, this is I remember nationals. That comment. That was wild. I was like, right. You thought that was gonna be like, come on now. Right, this is nationals. This is the events of the year. This is the culmination of a lot of players' seasons. Like, this is what we all strive to go to. Like, of course we're going to be sweaty because we're trying to win. And like, that's the mentality. I know, because I'll say I was one of those people who were like, yeah, stick away things from store championships back then. And I definitely get where Mike's coming from. I just think that like, there are people who like to play the card game casually. And then there are people who like to play the card game competitively. And the people who got their store championships and were like, oh, cool, I have an invite to Nats. Well, I'll go. And then they went and they complained about it being sweaty. So, well, that year was for invites. So it was just a lot of the store championship invites.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. He was like, yeah, I got my store championship invite from locals, and I just thought it was.
I misheard what you said.
Yeah, he was like, I just thought it was sweaty, and I was like, well,
like, what do you expect?
That's the nature of the game. But go ahead, Mike. I just wanted to say that real quick. I know you left, but just wanted to talk about how
I was here the whole time. What do you mean? No.
I just wanted to mention how like there are definitely people who like
complained
got their store champion. Yeah, they got their store championship invites and then they went and they complained it was sweaty because it wasn't like locals.
Well, those people are also wrong. To be fair, like you were wrong if you thought that getting an invite through store championships was bad, and you're wrong if you went to Nats and complained about it being too hard. So you two people can be wrong. That's right. How I felt 100%. About that. I feel 100%. And like I don't know. Again, we are in a worse predicament than we were 2 years ago getting invites through store championships, because now the invites, like I remember thinking that I was like, oh, I can compete for an invite, because again, I am someone that does not play in a lot of regionals, online events, whatever. I am someone that likes going to my locals and hanging out with my friends, and I will play competitive. I'm not bad at the card game. I play with people that have topped regionals all the time. I've played with people that win regionals. I play test with these fucking people. I'm not like, I'm a competitive player and I'm good at the game. I just am lazy.
You ain't competitive, bitch. You're casual.
Yeah, I'm pretty casual. That's fair. But like,
you're casa.
But like, I will fuck up a store regionals. Like, so I was excited. I was like, oh fuck yeah! I'll show up to store regionals. Like, that'll be a good time. I don't know if I'm gonna get that opportunity now, which is upsetting. Like, I wanted to be able to like hang out with my friends and like be in this like more regional environment. Like, I've never gotten to go to an in-person regionals, I don't think, for Digimon yet. So like, I was kind of excited for that. Like,
we would have too many games, but then we dipped out because we were like, fuck this shit, we're out.
Yeah. So like, I was like, I don't know, I was like excited for it, and unfortunately, like, it didn't go that way, and I don't know if I'm gonna get that opportunity this year. I mean, I'm still waiting to find out if I qualified for Virginia or New Jersey. So we'll see. I
hate that they don't have like the results for that like sooner, because like, and that's like plans. Stuff you gotta plan for. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, like, I had my friend Nate from my locals here sign up for the one in Virginia. I was like, we can carpool, go together, and he was like, okay, like I hope they let us know soon, because I have to take off work. Like,
imagine he works nights. Imagine you get in and he doesn't. It's like, sorry, Nate.
Yeah, like what, like exactly. Or like I invited a bunch of you guys and like other people. I was like, hey, sign up for the one in Virginia. You guys can crash at my house. We can go together. Like, imagine like you guys get in and I don't. Like, you guys are still welcome to stay at my house, but like that's gonna fucking
sorry
suck,
you can't
bro.
go.
Yeah, like
sorry you can't attend, but like, we'll use your place.
You know, like, and I thought that I don't know. Like, I guess I'm just disappointed in it, because like I was excited to be able to play in like that more competitive environment again. You know, like again, I am more casual than both of you on the pod, but like I'm not bad at the game. I think I'm really good. So I was excited to be able to show that off.
You're all right.
Yeah, whatever.
You're an all right guy in my book.
Just okay, I suppose.
You're just okay.
I really like the idea of just saying fuck store regionals, because Bandai did it so terribly, and just going back to store championships. Like, that's cool with me. I liked the store championship prizing. I thought that it was cool and unique to the card game. It's basically what we get with these fucking store evolution cups. It's different, cool prizing. Like, that's fucking cool to me. I like
Which was another thing that like was scuffed, and like that was something that Bandai did, which was cool, like good. But then here's another issue.
Stores didn't get their product for it. That was depressing.
Distributors were fucking shit. All right, like let's get that straight. Bandai's distributors, like the ones who are responsible. I don't know how that works. I don't know if every distributor gets the tournament pack pricing or if it's specific ones responsible. But they fucking suck, bro. They fucking suck. Like the Gamer's Edge, we were good, we were fine, we got ours. But stores that signed up Bandai approved, like Bandai was like, yeah, sure, host this event, didn't get their pricing. We were like, what the fuck? Like, why did you give them the event then? And it's like, okay, well, like the distributor was supposed to send the pricing, but they didn't. Why didn't distro send the pricing? This leads me right back to that conversation we had like I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Where's the product going? All right, like, is somebody out here selling the product? Were you giving it to other stores? Like, why? Why is this a thing? I don't know, right? It's so dumb. Like, I don't know. It's so infuriating.
Yeah. I remember, like, even back in the store championship I'd won, I didn't even get store championship prizing. I didn't get mine.
Damn.
And I was like, well, fuck that. Like, I'm a goddamn champion. So I went and I bought my champion cards. I was like, I'm a fucking champion.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it's really just, I don't. Unfortunately, this podcast kind of became Mom Bandai's Killing the Digimon Card Game Part 2.
Part 2.
Dude, I want you to know,
to be fair,
we were gonna talk about EX6. Like, we were gonna do like a little set preview. Like, that didn't happen.
Well, we also left off last week already like long AF because we had more that we wanted to talk about that we didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Greymon X come off the ban list.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about that real quick.
Yes. Go ahead.
So, Dan, make your case for Greymon X. I'll let you talk.
Greymon's bad. Greymon X is good. Come off the ban list. That's it. The end. That's
not a good argument.
I think
it's a great argument.
It's so funny.
Greymon is all right. I'll break it down more.
Yeah.
Greymon in today's game is too slow to interact with like the game it is right now. Numa is such a fast deck. Magna X can get there pretty quickly, honestly, most times. And any other top deck, right? Mirage, Imperial could just pop off super fast, super easy. Like, all these decks are like so fast in today's game in comparison to Greymon. Greymon, back then it made sense to hit Greymon X because it made things so quick and fast in comparison to everything else. But everything else has caught up to that speed, like including like when Anubis was like, you know, top tier when it was at 4 of like, you got into that deck you got to Anubis pretty fast in your normal stack going on. Greymon, you need usually a double rookie, double champion, double ultimate, and you know, whatever level 6 you have or something at times. And the Greymon X protection is not even that bad because it's only a once per turn thing. You have to, you know, tuck the X antibody into your deck to get a protection. Today's game, you get popped twice in a turn, no problem. You know what I'm saying? The way the game works. So I could definitely see Greymon X coming back. There's so many decks that can go into their low 5s for 1 or free at times. So it makes sense to yeah.
They plus memory, okay?
Yeah, they plus memory. We're not plussing in Greymon. We're just, you know, we're just trying to stay even.
We're using every memory to our advantage.
Yeah, so like it's not like, and I don't even think with Greymon X at 4, I don't even think the deck becomes broken or anything. It just becomes a viable option because the deck is not even like viable. Like I think like War Greymon can do something at times depending on how like crazy Magna X were. Let's say if Numa wasn't in the picture per se. That could be a good counter because you could just raid into it. You could go easy 15, 16 to 18k, no problem. But like besides that, like if you don't even get there, it don't even matter at times, you know what I'm saying? So like
let's put it in perspective. Greymon X with the cost reduction, comboed with obviously like our training boost, letting you go into BT8 Metal Gray, you get a D-Digivolve.
But I want to cut you off right there. It's hard to even play training boosts and memory boosts right now in Greymon because
in that deck, because
the dual black tie is,
you have to pick your poison.
Yes. Yep.
Because you have to play it. What do you want to see more? Greymon X or black tie?
You have to play the training boost because that deck desperately needs it because everything is a decently costed, you know, Evo cost.
Yep.
Without that Gray X, you know, all your Metal Greymons are either 3 or 4 cost at the moment, and you know, and
you only have one that the BT8 one is 4. All the other ones are 3.
Right. That's why I said 3 or 4.
But the like so training with Greymon X gets you into a Metal Greymon for 1. D-Digivolve pop, Metal Gray X, maybe you're running Cool Boy, obviously you should be running Cool Boy, gain a memory. And hopefully you can keep turn. If you have another training boost, you can go into a black or gray. Like that's just great for today's game. Like back then, like that was already good. And then it kind of got gotten worse over time because like other decks outsped it. But can you imagine like, I'm not, again, you know, we're not saying it's going to be like tier 1 or anything, but being able to do that and then like swing over a Numamon board, because Numamon's entire thing is that like nothing is suspended, right? Everything is either, if they swing, they're dying. So
that's the goal at least.
I personally, Dan thinks that it would be like a tier 2 deck. I honestly think it'd be like end of tier 2, first tier 3 deck. I don't even think that getting Greymon X back would make that deck like insane. I think it would just make it a lot better.
It just lets it lets it compete and trade blows. Like I'm saying, like I think it could be good into Numamon if you're somehow able to see everything that you need to see, you know, like that's a tough part. But the good thing about getting Greymon X back to 4 would also be that you can finally run black base Greymon, because that's the issue with the training boost. You have to run red base because you got red Algo X, red offense training, red egg, red Greymon X. If you were able to run black base, sure, you can still run the BT9 Algo X, but you could also run BT11. You can run the black Poromon eggs. You have this at 4. You can finally search your black ties, and you're just more consistent.
And I'm sorry, if Emissary has not been hit yet, Emissary is a 1 cost to Digivolve into something in your security stack.
Into a potential level 6.
And mind you, without paying the cost. It Digivolves 1 into something from your security without paying the cost. Odds are you're fucking stacking your security in that deck, and then you're Digivolving for free for one cost into a level, and not from a champion to an ultimate. You could go into a fucking mega for 1. And then you recover 1 if you have TK. Which you fucking do.
And gain more memory sometimes.
Like I understand when it was hit, it was necessary, I think. But we're in a format where you can literally print memory. You can literally I mean, and like I'm trying not to be biased here. Like I play Imperial. There are turns where I can start my turn with like 3 memory and end up at like fucking 7, bro. Like you can pull easily, off, like I can keep comboing sometimes and keep gaining memory back from DNA, from doing what the deck is meant to do, which is just DNA Digivolve and stun your opponent. I can actually continue gaining. If I remove an ace off the board, I guarantee I win the game every fucking turn. Like if I can get rid of an ace, it's on the, like it's ridiculous. So like, I mean, fucking vaccine armor, bro. like Mirage fucking, I mean, obviously everyone knows that deck can print memory, and also people are saying that deck should be hit, so like I won't talk too much about it as like an excuse why Greymon X should come off, but I'm just fucking saying. Like,
so here's my card that should come off the ban list. This one's gonna be a little bit, might be a little bit controversial.
You want to say Just Sophie?
No, I'm done with yellow decks.
Oh, okay. Let me see where you go with this, because I got a couple others too.
I have a couple others as well.
Anubismon.
I don't know.
So, all right. So here's my reasoning, right? So Bandai's reason for hitting it: high board retention and control due to continuous play and removal effects, which greatly improves consistency and speed of the deck when combined with several other existing cards. There are very few deck types that can handle this speed, and currently this card reduces the space for choosing other decks themes with similar board expansion effects, limiting the blah, 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 blah. Isn't that what Numamon does? Isn't Numamon like Anubismon from the hand?
I think that Numamon is also a problem.
I'm not, okay, so, I know some people are gonna be like, you don't unhit like one broken like design card to combat like another like broken deck, but I'm just saying, like in a theoretical world, like what Anubismon was capable of doing, right, is that board control. This deck, what do you think like Anubismon does against like Magna X? Like they can board spam, sure. They also can generate a ton of memory, but like it probably should be a 50-50 matchup, because you basically in general spit out 3 bodies a turn with Anubismon. So in general, you can have 4 attacks. But against like a Magna X, you swing, so you block 1, and you swing another 1, security is removed, you unsuspend, so you can basically block 2 attacks. So you effectively have 2 viable attacks against Magna X. But then you bring this deck up against the likes of Numamon, which is like level 5s, and the Ukomons and some level 4s, and maybe there's like a Valk sitting on board, and you're just like, all right, cool. Raise Anubismon and just proceed to try to obliterate board. Of course, they're going to have Platinum Numamon, so then, you know, turn could pass, but you also have these memory gaining effects. I'm just saying, like, if there was a card that could combat Numamon, Anubismon is the card to do it.
I think it's a little too soon for a card like Anubis to come.
But it's a good idea.
I picked would honestly probably be like.
I think the whole world will just shift.
Yeah,
I think the whole world will shift to Anubis.
I have 2 picks, honestly. Probably Eismon.
I don't know.
Probably I'd pick Eismon and I'd pick Shoutmon Crossfire at this point.
Before we talk about those, I don't know, Dan, because think about it. Anubismon, the only ace you can play reliably is Myotismon. And why are you playing you can play Myotismon to play out your Tamers and play out some other like level 3s that you have. But I don't think, like, even on the dual colors, I don't think there's any ace that you can reliably play in Anubismon. Grand Kuwaga?
Grand Kuwaga, yeah.
So I guess you could play that for free, right? No, you can play it for 1. But I don't even know what the Grand Kuwaga ace does, so let me look it up real quick.
Suspend 2 Digimon or Tamers, and then you could pop a Tamer that's suspended, and then your opponent's Digimon can't unsuspend the unsuspend phase. And then when he suspends, you could give his second attack +1.
I think that's fine. I think that's another avenue for the deck to go down. If you either play this for 1, it's not going to have Rush, but it could have Rush because you could use Cerberusmon because it has that new support. I don't know.
Yeah, you're making more case on why it needs to stay at 1. I think it's a fine one of in purple in today's game. I don't think it needs to go anywhere until we get to a point where like it's not relevant. Then it'll probably come back.
Let's see what they hit with Numamon, because if they don't hit the right cards, then I feel like Anubismon should come off the list.
Let's see what Mike says about a specific card, because I actually don't disagree with Eismon.
Both.
So let me see what you see with
both
Cross.
Eismon.
Oh, no,
not both.
Hear me out.
No.
Hear me out.
No.
Hear me out.
No. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Hear me out.
Go ahead.
Hear me out. I think that both Eismon can come.
Absolutely not.
No, just let him continue. Can you continue? You keep stopping. Go ahead.
Okay.
And you letting Barney cut you off.
Well, yeah, I'll let them cut me off. So I don't necessarily think right now, in the current game, I don't know if the Eismon combo is that strong current. In my opinion. It's just my opinion.
Hey, Mike. Did you know we're getting a new
trash 2 is terrible?
Bro, stop, Dan. Stop. Dan, stop. Did you know we're getting a new scatter mode in EX7?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So we have 8 scatter modes.
Yeah.
Well, sorry. If you unrestrict both Eismons, you would have 8 scatter modes and 4 Eismon.
Hey, yo, I'm coming back with purple Ogremon Rush, baby.
Bro,
if that was the case.
And I don't actually think that, so like I know that it sounds fucking crazy, and I understand. I might have to reread the new scatter mode, honestly, but like
doesn't do much.
But I really
unless
don't
it's specifically with that deck.
And I also don't really mind, like, the Eismon drawing and trashing was really strong. That was, and I'm not saying that wasn't.
That's fine. That should come back. Scatter mode should come back.
You don't think? I think that both could come back.
I think regular Eismon could come back.
I mean, regular Eismon could come back on its own for fucking sure.
No, I disagree, because we're about to get that scatter mode, and then you're running into the same exact issue that we're having with purple decks before.
But there's a difference.
There's such
What's
a
the
big difference?
That it doesn't do the draw 3 trash 2?
That the
exactly that's the biggest difference.
Well, also the power game is card crept because so you have to force past it.
You don't even have to, because the Eismon effect is when it's trash and you have a scatter mode and trash, you play it. So like you have a less consistent way of trashing it with the Eismon scatter mode. The other scatter mode, I don't remember what it does, but
you trash one card in your hand, then you may return one Digimon card with the evil Dark Dragon or evil Dragon trade from your trash to your hand.
Right. So I think it's not. I don't think it's as. I think it's as fair with that compared to scatter mode. So I think scatter mode is fine at the 1 of.
So I would agree with you if Bandai would never print another purple card to do any quantifiable draw X, trash X.
Which is not happening. Not for
purple. You don't know that. You don't know that.
They're not going to stop that. For purple? Hell no, they're not stopping that.
That's what I'm saying. They're not stopping that.
Yeah.
So why? So, okay. So the card, all right. Using BT, this is the reason it was hit. Using BT7 Eismon and BT7 Eismon scatter mode in tandem makes it easier than anticipated to cycle through your deck while playing Digimon to your battle area for free. So on your thought logic, I get it. At this very moment, if scatter mode stays hit, we get the new Eismon, then we get that Eismon back. As long as they never again print any cards that do more than a draw one, trash one per turn. Like if they have another effect, like Lady Devimon, for example, right? Lady Devimon is on Digivolve with draw 3 or draw 2, trash 2. That's fine because it's not on level 4. But we just talked about power creep. They're going to print another purple card at some point in time that on play or on Digivolve or on deletion or some shit is going to do another draw X, trash more than one card in hand. And when we get to that point, then do we talk about it again? Should Eismon be hit? Because here's all these cards that pull cards back from trash.
I don't know. So my argument against you right now, Varney, is that you just fucking said that we should let Anubis come off the list, and they fucking use blue. Yeah. And they use fucking the blue Marimon, which is literally draw 2, trash 2. Like I don't even want to talk to you because I hate your entire argument now. Like that is I'm mad at you.
So I'll be realistic. Like I don't think Anubismon should come off the list. I'm just saying, like, based on the current state of the meta, I'm not disagreeing with Dan, but they're not going to stop printing purple draw trash cards. And I feel like Eismon itself will become a problem later on again. And then they'll possibly have to hit that card again because you can trash 2, trash 3, and then play all of them out.
We'll deal with it.
I'm going to be honest.
That's how ban list works.
I'm going to be honest, bro. How long was Eismon in the game and then it didn't become a problem until Anubis and Apocalypse? The card was
scatter mode, right?
Like
scatter mode, right?
The card was fucking fine.
But no,
like it wasn't, even all the Gabumons were fine until they printed Gabumons.
Anubis. It was Apoc. It was Apoc.
Well, I'm saying purple decks in general though. Like how long?
Right.
Was it?
It was a stray bullet hit in them trying to slow down Apoc, and instead of bringing cards off the ban list, obviously, we talked about this. They just left it on. So they left on all the Gabus and the Eismon. Go ahead, Dan.
I was gonna say that was my picks. Both Gabus I think come off with no problem now. Keep scatter mode at 1. I think that's fine. I think you could take off old Eismon for now, and then depending how crazy new scatter mode having 5 and 4, and then maybe some type of champion rush version. If that gets too out of hand too quickly, then they could just restrict it again and not a problem.
I feel like Bandai is too prideful.
When we say Gabumons, we do not mean Gabumon X and Guru.
No, Gabu X and Guru X stay there, But the regular Gabu, the on deletion draw 2 trash one, the ones that to come back, and then the Gabumon that was win attack and draw 1 trash one, I think they perfectly come back, no problem. Now, even it helps Garurumon decks, and they could do their little shenanigans, but they'll still be in the same spot anyways, which is irrelevancy. So, I hate
realistically, Garurumon cannot get Guru X back, and it's an unfortunate casualty because then honestly because every purple deck will, even some blue decks,
is doing it.
will play Guru as an engine, and that card. So unless there's no way you can archetype, because that card is already archetype locked. It's if there's Garurumon or X antibody in source, then you gain the memory, but it's unconditional draw 2 trash 2. But even then, you run the entire engine anyways, because the entire engine is a draw trash. So that card is shot design. That card stays nerfed. Gabu X, I'm not.
No, it could stay there. No, I think don't even question it. Stays there.
Yeah, I'm with Dan. I think that stays there.
I'm just saying, if they were to unlimit a card for Guru, Gabu X would be the card to unlimit, because it doesn't have the same draw trash. It's just another search for the deck. The biggest problem is its protection effect.
Protection.
It's a search for, you grab anything.
Right. So is Algo X.
You're forgetting that it's
limited compared to that.
You're forgetting that it has
it only grabs Black Tamer, right?
And then it can still play the other.
Correct.
Guru X,
I just mentioned it has the protection, which is why it'll stay hit. But I think if there was a card that Gurumon would get back, it would be Gabu X first. Guru X is just like, that's like one of those cards we know is permanently going to be restricted for like its entire lifetime until we get to a point in the game where there's like something that's somehow more busted than Guru X.
Right. And all right, Michael, now go with your X4 nonsense because I want to hear this one.
I just think we've hit a point in the game where it's strong. Like
remember when you were like,
I was on that train. I was like, you cannot ever remove this card, and I was there for a while. Like, and I'm still kind of iffy. I think that I'd be okay with it coming back, even if it's not at 4. I think it can come back at a higher number. But also, I don't know what nonsense they're about the fucking print and the cross-war set.
They're dropping cross stuff.
Yeah.
No, just cross-war needs to
I don't know what nonsense they're about the print. So I guess I'll bite my tongue on that. But I think again, it's a card where currently I don't think that cross-4 would be too crazy.
So it's definitely like something sticky because like Mervamon, for example, like Mervamon spitting out 2 cross-4s and then going like a whole bunch of shenanigans, like it makes that like a lot more powerful. But then the question becomes like, how relevant is that deck in today's day and age that like that actually matters?
What the cross-4 will make it matter? I think cross-4 will make it 100% matter in today's game.
I don't
against Numamon?
Think 100%. So.
You just keep swinging out. You keep drawing, you keep swinging, you keep doing everything.
I think it's really good. The only thing is
you have to set up the Mikey, but like outside you set up Mikey, then you're good.
Yeah, but you don't remember, Cross doesn't have ways to play Tamers for free, so like you're losing tempo to that.
Sure.
You're also forgetting too that Cross-4 has to survive the attack in order to activate its enemy attack. We are in a format where that card can get Valk Ace so fucking fast, bro. That is any Ace card absolutely shits on Cross-4, in my opinion. Like that is a card that it has to survive its end of attack.
Just Vikemon Digivolve.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like it has to live through the attack. There is no jamming in Cross decks right now. So
yeah, they just have the security minus.
Yes, so it has to live through. And what the fuck is that deck gonna do against a Magna stack? And like even like what is that deck gonna do against a fast Magna stack like Yellow Vaccine? And what is that deck gonna do? Because even if you because they can just if you Valk Ace them and they play let's say you Edamon them and then they have to swing something blah 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 blah. That doesn't really matter because cross decks can just play from hand. Like they don't have to have a field established as long as they have Tamers established, right? They can just drop things from hand. But even if you do, their board is still a neg 4k or 5k neg 5k. Their board is still neg 5k, which makes that end of attack it having to survive end of attack even worse. And then it'll get popped.
Make a good point.
And then it'll get popped via Valk Ace if it takes the security.
Yeah, I'm really with Mike on this one.
And I was on the this card can never come off, but I feel like the game has moved past it. I don't think it matters. That is
Panzer's gonna have words for you because he's gonna say, "See, Mike, I told you so."
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna get yelled at. But here's the weird thing. I can change my opinion. I can admit when I'm wrong, and I'm wrong. I was wrong. I don't think I was wrong 2 sets ago when it was last brought up, or a set ago when it was last brought up.
14.
I don't think I was wrong then. I don't think I was wrong in BT15 meta. I think the card that it would have been really strong in BT15. I mean, sure you could have got Mega Gargote or something then, but
I think so. Going back to that Kukuro's comment from earlier that Ace cards are an unhealthy mechanic, blah blah blah, whatnot, and so forth. I actually think because of Ace cards, it makes it easier to deal with a deck like Cross Hearts. The problem is with the deck like Numamon, because they can just so easily remove your potential, your body that can ace, is what makes that deck that plus Ukomon, so speed plus removal, I
didn't even bring up Grand Kuwaga Ace. Suspend 2 of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers, and then delete your
That's what, purple, green, right?
Yeah, and then you delete one of their tamers that are suspended. Like I didn't even bring that up against Cross 4. Like
there's more tamer hate in today's game.
You Cross 4 me and then I delete your tamer that you're gonna unsuspend. Okay. Have fun, pussy.
All right. You make a good point.
Yeah.
I'm with Mike. I agree.
I'd say tie, just because BT19 is coming around the corner, and BT19 is probably going to drop something that could be potentially make it break.
I'll bite my tongue because I don't know what kind of bullshit they're about to drop. But currently in the current game, I think that card could come.
When they drop an ace, when they drop a blast Digicross, I'll be sick.
So we were talking about that. Someone, I think Peter, our world champion, Peter, he asked, do we think we're going to get dual colored eggs first or champion aces?
Yeah.
And
that's probably a topic for another day.
No, I want to
save that for another day.
But, I mean, you could even leave it as a poll question or something if you want, like whatever you feel like doing. But like, I think in my heart, currently in the current game, don't shoot the messenger. Currently in BT16, not even EX6 format, Cross 4.
I know, I'm with you. I do think Cross 4 can come back. I
on the ban list.
I do want to see what comes out.
Back, honestly.
But I do want to say, like, I feel like Blast Digicross could be a mechanic. It probably won't because I don't.
Terrible.
I don't think there's any sort, like, I don't know the lore, but like obviously there's a lore behind like Blast Evolution in the first place in Aces. I don't think there's necessarily a lore behind like Blast Digicross. I haven't watched Cross Wars, any of it.
Well, they went Blast DNA, so like I wouldn't be surprised at this point to have a Digicross type deck that they have.
Yeah, but that's,
you know what I'm saying?
That's also kind of Blast Digivolve in a way, you know?
Sure.
Like, Blast DNA is more like the idea of a Digicross is playing the Digimon. So like I don't think there's like a lore reason for that. If there was, I don't know what the fuck kind of conditions you'd have to fulfill for it that doesn't make it absolutely inherently fucking busted.
I don't know.
Sure. Yeah.
What else is on the ban list?
For other,
trying to think about
what else on the ban list that can come off? I don't think anything.
So what's on the ban list right now? Just read it off.
So I guess the ban list right now, it's the Gabumon.
You have it up, right?
Yeah, I'll read it off to you then. So right now we have on the ban list, we have I'm not even going to bring up the restricted list because that's the choice restriction. I'm not even going to bring that up. So
that's irrelevant.
We have Bukomon. Do you think Bukomon can come off? Okay.
No, Bukomon will never come off.
That's what we all agree on then. Apocalypmon.
It will never come off.
Get the fuck out
Shut
of
up,
here.
Dan.
We already said no to Gabu X, Guru X. Anubis, Varney's coping. That card's not coming off.
100%.
Starter deck 6 Gabumon, that could come off, I think.
I think so too, yeah.
BT2 Gabumon, I think also that could come off. I agree with you, Dan. Geogreymon, fuck no, that card needs to stay at 1. Do you disagree? Your eyebrows.
Shine Greymon's kind of struggling,
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
No, it's only because of yellow vaccine. The moment they hit yellow vaccine stuff, then it could come back.
Still not.
If they choice restrict Geogreymon, I'll let that.
With Patamon? Okay.
I'll let that come off.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they hit yellow vaccine stuff, I think that Geogreymon could come back.
Yeah, I could get with you. EX4 Makalgamon, absolutely.
I mean, I'm not even gonna say absolutely not. Like,
I don't even know.
Currently?
It's just so weird.
No, realistically speaking, let's look at this objectively. Okay. When Digivolving, bounce level 4 lower to hand. When attacking, if your opponent has 8 or more in their hand, unsuspend stage 1. Does Mirage even give a fuck? No, they don't play this card.
So
they don't play this card.
Here's why they shouldn't get it.
They do. They still play the one of.
They do play the one of. Well,
no, they don't.
Yes, they do. Bro, I watched every single regional for BT15 and 16. They still running at one of.
It's probably because all they needed is at 1. Because I guarantee you, the BT13 with the can't be redirected. That's like the big thing now.
That's very important in this format. I agree with you.
And
they run that like 4, and then they run the like Zudo at like 2 to 3, and then they still have that one of.
And then they still have the BT11, which is the DP gaining and gives them blocker. Like realistically speaking, they would run this card at max like 2. This is a non-factor to their. I guarantee you, they don't win games off the backing of this card.
To be fair, it's not coming off because Mirage needs to go away anyways.
Because they're probably going to get a hit again, right?
Yeah, right. The card's not. I would like to, Mirage caused 2 hits on the ban list, by the way, because they caused the Bukomon hit those scumbags. Mind you,
because
Melgo did too.
Bukomon would have had to go eventually anyways because of other decks. So it doesn't matter. Like Bukomon, honestly, if Bukomon was still here, Imperial would be so good right now. Oh my! If I did not need to have jamming as an inheritable, great. Anyways, Machao, I can't really see coming off. Scatter mode, I said yes. YouTube told me I was stupid.
That was the worst.
No, we said scatter. I said scatter mode can come off. I think that card is perfectly fine.
Okay, I think it should come off.
I said no.
Savior Tommy already off.
Dan, the purple king over here, is out here saying no. Dan's not a real purple king. I'm taking that title away from
him. Because I think a card as a graceful charity needs to not say I won. Oh boy.
I'm gonna be honest. I was just
jamming Eismon, Daniel.
I was just kind of coping because I want to play Beelstar again. So
you have new Beelstar to play.
Right.
Don't worry.
I don't want to play new Beelstar. Leave me alone.
Yes, I can't wait. I can't.
You don't like change. We know.
No, that's you know what. Leave me alone. Anyways, this is an argument for a different pod. I don't want to be bullied right now. Blossomon is Blossomon coming off.
No, stays at 1.
Okay, no, absolutely. Well, all right, wait,
no,
hold on.
Stop.
Bloom has struggled.
I don't even want to talk about
be
Bloom.
relevant.
I don't even want to talk about Bloom.
So
I would like to personally apologize to anyone I gaslit for thinking Bloom was a good deck.
Bloom can utilize Blossomon. I feel like all right, no, actually, let's be realistic. If Yellow Vaccine can run around and do what it does, Blossomon could come off the list.
And that's why Yellow Vaccine needs to get hit eventually.
You're not wrong.
I'm just saying. Honestly, I almost... Do I care? Fuck you, Varney. I almost agree with you. I think that Blossomon...
So that's like the point, right? Like if these decks are allowed, it's just the same argument as what's it called?
I know. So here's the thing I don't like about Blossomon. Here's the thing I don't like about Blossomon. Greymon X is restricted to only Greymon cards.
Right, Blossomon
is too generic, and I agree. Bandai,
same with Argo.
Bandai hit that because it limits game design, and I agree with that.
I don't disagree, but it's also, you know, Bloom isn't relevant.
I mean, I'm with you 100%. Itmon?
All right, let's also look at it. Hold on. Let's look at it this way. Like, will Zafagamon play a Blossomon? Absolutely not. Because Grand Galemon, both of them are...
Isn't that dragon? What is Zufagamon's trait?
It's like a bird. Yeah, it's like a bird dragon of some sort.
Bird dragon. I don't think they search the vegetation. Like, they
don't. But that's... So it's generic, yes, but it's only generic because the salad archetype is so big and inclusive.
Fairy decks,
right? Exactly. So like other green decks won't play it, and these plant vegetation decks, I guess, with the cross art set coming up, since Bloom debuted in BT10, maybe we'll get like new good Bloom vegetation support. I don't know, but even then, like it just allows them to digivolve fast, but they don't have inheritables. Well, they won't have that level 5 inheritable. So I'm not saying Argomon should come off. I don't see a world where Argomon comes off. But Blossomon, I feel like Blossomon is fine. That's just me. I don't play green decks anymore. Well, until EX7.
I feel like I could potentially see Blossomon coming off, but also it does limit the game design pretty hard.
It does.
But I mean,
it really depends on what they're thinking about coming out with.
If you're asking me if Bloom got Blossomon at 4, would it matter? No, I don't think it would.
Yeah, absolutely not.
I don't think it would change anything at all in the meta. It would not even. I don't even think it would shake things up. I think if people saw, I don't even think people would play Bloom. If I'm being honest. I thought people were going to play Bloom. Obviously, I thought that because I'm fucking stupid and I gaslit everyone and myself apparently. I thought that people were going to play Bloom.
Sure did.
And I think that 3 people might have played Bloom that entire format. I don't know. That deck's ass. Itmon, absolutely the fuck not, dude. Especially with the new Beelzemon. No. Not happening.
You mean the EX6 one?
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that card's awesome, dude. I think you played it like 1, maybe at 2, but that card is so good for that deck. Are you reading it right now?
Yeah. When did you roll in Trash Top 4?
Then
if you have 10 or more, Digivolve 2, what are your position one? Okay.
Yeah, that card's too good. That card's not good. EX2 Hitmon does not need to come off. It's fine. What about Wiggerumon promo?
No.
Okay,
fuck
cool.
that.
We all agree.
Because it's already annoying when they hit the fucking one.
Absolutely not.
Let alone if they had that dumbass card at 4.
Because basically the fucking new Wiggerumon is the same fucking thing anyway. So.
Yeah, it is. It just requires them to trash a card.
Well, all right. Actually, let me reiterate. It does not do the same because it does not give the security attack +1 tier.
Yes, correct.
So let me. That's wrong. Don't yell at me in the comments. But I do. Yeah, that card needs to stay where it is. Grand Kuwagamon.
Yeah, you can come off.
No.
Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not?
Tyrant.
Okay. Is it Digivolves 2 from a level from this, right?
Correct. Pop off, go to Grand Kuwaga, go into Grandis, go ham,
You're getting rid of your sources. You're getting rid of your sources. What do you fuck do you mean? Okay, you get rid of the Metal Life Kuwagamon
shenanigans.
But you're getting rid of your sources.
You're not going to be playing. If you're playing that, you're not going to care about Metal Life. You're going to worry about your Izzy, anyways, because you don't want the double stack.
You have to drop an Izzy then for 4 memory,
which doesn't matter for Tyrant.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't. It's not like you're abusing memory. Tyrant costs 6 to Digivolve normally.
Yeah, and then you're going to go
2 on top of this.
Bro, you're going to easily deal with the board, and you go Tyrant. All right, you can't kill me by anything, and then you just go next turn kill. That's it. That's why it got spanned.
I think we can do a what if series with this at 4 in Tyrant, because I personally think this is fine.
What even are you going to play against Tyrant?
I don't know.
Okay. I don't know. I kind of agree with what Dan's saying, but also Tyrant's weird because I also think that that's a deck that I thought was going to be way better. And not that it's a bad deck, it's a good deck. It just is not seeing play, so I don't know. It's hard to say.
I think they're seeing like
seeing play. It's just you're not seeing top because everybody that's top are the ones with the new one decks mostly.
Yeah. So I'm indifferent. I'd have to. I could swing. You guys could swing me either way probably, but I'm probably on Dan's side. I think. Calling is completely fine at 1. That card is not. Yeah. That card. I think that card is great at 1. I don't think it needs to be at more than 1. I think that's a fine card that could stay at 1 forever, and I wouldn't care.
What card? I missed what you said.
Calling.
Sorry, hold on. Let me interrupt real quick. You run the end of attack Motimon egg, right? With Brandis. What egg? What other egg would you run with that?
Why would you not? Why run anything else? What are you gonna say? Because you're gonna Digiburst it?
If you're gonna Digiburst all your fucking sources,
to be fair, you don't have to Digiburst everything. You could.
No, you don't.
You could just Digiburst 2.
Right, but that's like what I'm saying. What is if Grandis gets a sec +1? You already get the sec +1 from the Grand Kuwaga Ace by doing whatever that enables to give you the sec +1. What's the difference if you choose to Digiburst 2 of your sources and not all 2, 3, 4, 5? So you have 4. You have 2 potential sec +1, and if you decide to keep your egg and Metal Life, then you only get sec +1. What's the issue with that?
You're not understanding. If you've been building Grand Kuwaga, you're not gonna worry about the Metal Life. You're gonna worry about having Okuamon and Okua X.
Varney, I would also
in a Grand Kuwaga deck.
Yeah, I would also like to add on to the point, Varney, that you also just convinced me to side with Dan, where you Grand Kuwaga promo and gain security, and then you also play the Grand Kuwaga Ace for security attack.
Because then you're gonna go Tyrant, go
Kuwagas.
Like you could do so much with it with Tyrant plus like Grand Kuwaga promo plus that. Like you don't care about the sources at that point. You're gonna go Okua X. You're gonna F everything up. You're gonna get rid of that board easily, so much more easily, and you just chill.
It's the same argument that we had with why Grandis was hit back in the day.
Because Tyrant can't do what Grand Kuwaga could do. Like current Tyrant can't do what Grand Kuwaga Grandis could do back then when it comes to OTK potential.
Right.
Absolutely not.
Right. Neither will Tyrant.
So think about it like this. You put that OTK potential plus you put Tyrant on top of it for the board control and the unkillableness.
But what you're adding an offensive capability, you're taking away defensively. Like you're saying
this game?
You're saying drop, like you can just drop Izzy for 4. Sure, if you're gonna get rid of your Metal Life, if you're not gonna have the redirects, what does it matter that you can't interact with the Tyrant? At least with Magna X, it can't be the thing is with Magna X, it can't be interacted with, and it has blocker. But if you have a Tyrant that's sitting there that can't be interacted with by Digimon effects,
sure,
you're not playing the Shivamon, so you can use options on it. But it doesn't have any of the defensive capability. Okay, whatever. Go ahead. Do your thing, Tyrant.
You don't understand. You're not having a board when if that combo were to happen.
Why are you leaving a board out if you're playing against a more aggro version of Tyrant? Like, well, why are you leaving a board out if you're playing against Tyrant?
Because you're trying to kill them.
You still have to advance your game state.
I don't understand. Right. Yeah.
Yes, you have to advance board state. Duh. Like, I get that. You have a raising zone, right? Like,
I don't know. I'd also like this, like, because Tyrant.
If that's the case,
I don't
cool.
play Tyrant.
I'll just go Grand Kuwak, put you at 0, go Tyrant, be in defense, and then chill with an Izzy or something. Like, that's fine. And then I'll just watch you try to kill this thing.
The Izzy, you have to facilitate like so much memory to be able to do your, like, you have to. The reason the Grand Kuwaga, because you have the Okuamon, isn't that like Digivolve? I don't remember like what
suspends or something like that, right?
I don't remember what the entire combo of like Grandis and the Grand Kuwaga and all that stuff is. But
back then they ran like the boost too, so you're running trainings to reduce those evos anyways.
Right, but like it's set up right, and what I'm saying is I don't think that's bad to have in today's game. I feel like it's fine if Tyrant gets that Sec +1, even if they become a more OTK deck, because of how much setup and how memory intensive things can be because it's Tyrant. You know, what's your top end? It does cost 6 to Digivolve. Obviously, it's only 2 over the Grand Kuwagas.
Right.
Oh yeah, over a level 6. It's just another X antibody deck, and it's not an OTK X antibody deck because it's not as bad as how Grandis was back in the day.
Yeah, but you also have to remember Grandis also.
But back then,
Grandis also comes back.
I honestly, I don't think Grandis is relevant in the face of Tyrant.
I feel like
that was my whole point of the thing. You go Grand Kuwaga promo, Grandis, and then you go over that. Then you go Tyrant over that.
Wait, explain that again. What do you mean?
What are you talking about? Grandis is a level 6.
Right.
That you can Evo over with Tyrant.
Over the Grand Kuwaga Ace?
No, or over Tyrant.
Over the Tyrant.
You can go Grand Promo, go Grandis, go into Tyrant.
Yeah, like you're forgetting that like what Dan is saying is that like you basically play Tyrant like the defensive, like
as a level 7.
You play Grandis, like you play Grandis and then you just play Tyrant like the level 7. So you go to OTK your opponent. If you can't OTK them, you slam the Tyrant on top.
That makes more sense. I didn't factor in you weren't making sense to me with the Grandis. I didn't factor the Grandis into it. So you're saying you're essentially saying, like Mike said, you're playing Grandis as an OTK.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You go Tyrant on the top end and that's it. You're like, all right, cool, deal with this. If you can't, I wouldn't next turn anyways.
Yeah, like I don't know how you deal. Like
that makes more sense.
Honestly, I don't know how you would deal with that because that
unless you can't Evo. I know,
bro. Oh my
there's a restriction. There's a restriction on Tyrant on Evo over a level 6. I don't know if that restriction is Grandis.
Sectoid and play cost 13 or less. So let me look up what Grandis is.
What's Grandis? Grandis is a 12 play cost. It does not matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then it's also Sectoid.
Okay. So yeah, you just go. All right. That's what I'm saying. You go promo Grand Kuwaga. You get your second attack +2, whatever it is. Then you go Grandis. That's gonna be a 1 cost Evo, whatever it is. I think it's free or 1, whatever it is. You're gonna keep turn. You go into that. You pop off, kill everything. You give them that 0 security. Then you're like, all right, I'm gonna pass turn with Tyrant. You're already suspended. You go drop something else off of it. You could drop Metal Life off of it if you want. You could drop anything off of it, whatever you want, if you really want to.
Can I be honest? Chill. I feel like in today's society and in today's metagame, I'm fine with that. I mean, if Nuamon is able to do its stupid shit,
I would like,
but that's such a bad like take to say, oh, because Nuamon could do that, why not anything else? That's not really a good argument per se, because Nuamon's gonna get hit eventually. It's gonna get hit.
I'm just saying, you know,
I would genuinely,
for as long as Nuamon runs along with its fucking 8 little Ukomons.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I don't know. I think you also have to remember, so like Grandis was like a really annoying deck because that was like the most solitary deck there was. You just
trust me, I know.
Your opponent
that was also they were doing the same thing. Remember, they were just like, all right, I'm gonna drop this Mimi. Make sure I swing one check, get a check off. Grandis takes the rest out, and then it will sometimes go like, you know, green hybrid for game or something. You know what I'm saying? They did a lot of ways to make sure to get that OTK off at times. So like now with Tyrant, you could easily drop the Izzy within that meantime, and then just go, all right, pop off. Go to Tyrant, end of it, and then call it a day.
And now we have cards like Kokabuterimon that search your entire deck.
Yeah.
It searches your Okuwamon promos if you want to play those. It searches
you still have the Kokabuteri. No, not Kokabuteri. What's it called?
Blade Kuwagamon? Are you thinking of like...
No.
There's basically that deck gets insane.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah.
I'm with Dan. I think that would be crazy. The further we talked about it, the more I'm convinced that it would be.
You know what I want to do now?
I'm not gonna lie. That would be I would love to play that. I think I would have a blast.
So I literally, I'm thinking about it. I don't want to play the OTK deck, but like I'm also like thinking about like how like Dan is now giving me ideas, and now I'm like,
well, build like actual Grandis with Tyrant.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's a thing. Because at least with like the new promo, not the promo, the Ace, you could potentially do 4 checks in total.
Grandis Ultimates are like $3.
Oh, I'm sure they're cheap. So you go like, you know,
Insectoids.
Effect, and then Grand Koaga lets you unsuspend. Grandis lets you unsuspend. You swing, do 3 to 4 checks where it is, and then go Tyrant.
Grandis deck right here.
You know, it's funny.
Excited to play right now.
You know, it's funny. Dan and I were talking to one time, and I was like, yeah, like I like the, you know, I don't really want to be this like super like wall deck. That's why I don't play Vaccine Armor anymore, and I don't like the way that Magnamon plays. And you know, I like to like accelerate my win con. And Dan is like, oh, you're changing, and I'm like, yeah. So like talking about Grandis now, I'm like taking out multiple security while wrecking my opponent's board.
Yeah, and then
it gets me kind of excited.
You know how insane it would be that like be able to do a Grandis combo and then end on a Tyrant, bro. Oh my god, that'd be fun.
That
like forces them to have that. So I'm with Dan. I don't think I would love to play that, but no. Greymon X Antibody, we are all in agreement. Like
yes.
100%. Sunrise Buster.
No. Yellowback. Well, I guess Vaccine that they don't play. Well, they have Valk, so they have easier access to it.
I want to say no.
I don't. Yeah, I mean,
I'd err on the side of no.
Would Shine play? Shine's deck space is too tight, I think, to even play that.
I think they will consider playing it again.
They definitely won't have space after they get the BT17 support because you have.
Sure.
So what would just yellow cards? Just yellow vaccine? So much to play. Think?
Yeah.
Yellow vaccine, but they'd have to play red. What would they play?
Valk.
Oh, maybe.
Valk. Oh yeah. Oh my god, that would be dirty in Valk.
Yeah, because you Valk them and then you can just Sunrise Buster because you fulfill the requirements. You play a Tamer, any Tamer for free, and then you're also doing more DP negging on top of your blanket. So no, absolutely not.
Yeah, that's a good point. Doru Greymon, absolutely the fuck not. I don't even want to. No.
Doru Greymon.
No.
If that card didn't have Sec +1, I would say this card can come off. Unfortunately,
I played this against Coach today and on Friday, and he high rolled me, and I was like, "This is fucking, this is as bullshit and uninteractive as it was the day it came out."
Yeah, unfortunately, it has that Sec +1, and that's why for me that card forever stays on the ban list.
It also just does like being Sec +1, but it's also a protection effect card. That card was goated, honestly.
Well, the protection effect is fine. I mean, look at today's metagame. Like, okay, cool, a protection effect.
Actually, it's a card that would actually be super relevant to today's metagame.
Right, exactly.
Oh yeah, Alphamon would be relevant.
Look at what the decks are doing. Like, it has both DP protection and it would have deletion protection.
Yeah.
So like, I think that's fine. It has Sec +1. So unfortunately, because it has Sec +1, it stays on the ban list.
I said Shaman Cross 4, and I think I convinced all of you.
Yes.
Somehow, yes.
Jet Sylphie, I don't.
I think it could come back.
So here's the thing, right? Because of the new hybrid support, because it doesn't work.
It does not matter. Yeah, I think. I mean,
I think you could. You just do it a little differently. Like you're not gonna be. It's not gonna be the your.
It's not going to be like the standard. Yes,
but you got other yellow hybrid support that would
because it's the what? It's the like the what am I forgetting their names
and Koji.
Beowulf
that JP line is sick too. Yeah.
Kendo and Lobo. Yeah. So Digivolve 1 on top of these?
I don't know.
No, I'm saying it would Digivolve 1 on top of these as long as they're Digivolving from Koji. But again, I feel like that's probably fine. I mean, what is this?
Fine. I don't think it's that bad anymore.
Like Ancient Guru, the most aggravating part is that this dumb fucking Ancient Gurumon bounces cards to your opponent's hand, bounces your security to your opponent's, bounces your opponent's security to their hand. So that's like super annoying. But like,
I think my only issue with it is that I'm sure that Yellow Vaccine would find a way to. They aren't. They aren't vaccine cards.
It's hard.
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
They aren't vaccine cards, but I just, I don't know.
It's and like I get what you're saying, and I think that's fine. Like if vaccine turns that way, because Yellow Hybrid is an entire engine.
Could you do like Yellow Hybrid and then throw Magna as a top end, or no?
Also, I don't. It might just be too.
Because you need Magna X or
Protoform.
No, you need Magna X or Armor Form in traits.
I don't know because then it's just a good engine still, and then also like Valkyremon Ace on top of that, like
I think that's fine.
I feel like you could pull off some bullshit. I could go
not too much in my opinion.
I would have to see it. I don't think I have any real issues with it right now. I think that it would be fun to experiment with, and maybe I'm wrong, and if we're wrong, tell us in the fucking comments what you think about us being wrong about this shit, because there's a good chance we're wrong on a lot of these cards. But I think I'm with you guys. I think I could see it come back. All right, the one card everyone knows is come back at 4 MDF.
Easy, 100%.
1,000%.
No questions.
Yeah, we can move past that. MDF.
We can just MDF into our ace, and then that overflow trigger.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, 100%.
100%. Reinforcing? That's
no,
absolutely not.
Don't even.
Don't even talk about the next card. Don't even mention it. Skip.
Ice Ball's in my opinion, Ice Ball's the perfect one. Yep, I'm with you.
Ice Ball's perfect one.
I'm with you 100%. That's the perfect one of.
Hey, HBD should come back to 4.
Absolutely not.
No. Absolutely not. 0.
Argomon can stay at 1.
They're not going to hit it. Why not just bring it back to 4?
That's why I hate it. That's why I hate it that they won't.
Argomon can stay at 1. HBD should be at 0. And then the last card would be Eismon. So.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, those are our takes.
Yeah, and this podcast is long AF. As Panzer said,
this is the longest podcast ever, I think. Now
it might be.
I think we've eclipsed it by like a minute now. Yeah. So as Panzer said, if the podcast must be long, let it be long. And today that most certainly happened because we spent a lot of time going over comments, and then I was actually trying to skip EX6 because I was going to talk about it in the next podcast because I was trying to wrap this up like 45 minutes ago. And then we started talking about the ban list. And now here we are, 45 minutes later.
Do you want to keep talking about, you want to talk about EX6 now to add another hour onto this?
You want to make it a 3-hour podcast?
Why not, bro? Let's keep
Absolutely not.
Dan's like, I got to I was going to play like
You want to do the Raw Super Show?
I was going to play some video games today. It's not happening.
We can make this like the Raw Super Show, you know? Like, remember when they went to 3 hours?
It's still 3 hours.
It's still 3 hours. All right, so yeah, that's it. That's our takes. Thank you guys for listening. Parting words. I don't know. I'm interested to hear. So this is I actually have a poll question and a Q&A for you guys this time. So Q&A. What do we get? Or sorry, no. Q&A is what cards can come off the ban list? What cards do you think can come off the ban list? And the poll question will be, what do we get first? 2 color eggs or champion aces? I don't think we get champion aces ever, but that's why it's a poll question. So with that being said, that is it for today's episode of DigiPod, the digital podcast. So until we talk to you guys the next time, peace out.
Peace.
Catch y'all on the next one.